Teddy Atlas with the fight. Keeping a promise. Promise made, promise kept. My son, Teddy the Third, promised everybody that we'd be doing live streaming anytime that we thought it was a fight worth your time. And as long as you guys want it, as long as, like that movie, Kevin Costner, build it, they will come. My son said, build it, let the people come. As long as you guys come, we'll continue to build it. So here we are. We're going to give you the Ennis fight tonight, the world title fight with Ennis a little bit later. But we wanted to jump in with the co-feature fighter that, if you follow our podcast, you already know that he's one of my favorite fighters, one of the most complete fighters in the game today. And that would be Ray Ford. We're in the third round. Just to let you guys know, with this technology, with the live streaming, sometimes it's a little tricky trying to get the timing right and sync it up with what you guys are seeing. We're at 1 minute and 49 seconds of the third round. Just so you know, maybe I'm behind you, maybe I'm a little ahead of you, but I'm with you. That's what's important. I'm with you, and you're with us. My son will be here a little bit later. He's watching. He's doing all the hard stuff. I'm doing the easy stuff. I'm doing the talking. He's doing him and Ben Garcia, who's my man. They're doing the hard stuff. They're doing the technology stuff, the stuff that I know nothing about. But let's get to the stuff I know something about. You got the southpaw, former world champion, former featherweight champion, Ray Ford. He moved up to junior lightweight. That's where he is right now with Thomas Matisse, 22-4-1, 17 knockouts, never been stopped. Ray Ford, 16-1-1, 8 KOs. His only loss was he lost his title in a very close fight to Nick Ball. Very close. I had him edging it out, but very close fight in Saudi Arabia. Again, for me, Ford is just a complete fighter. He's a trainer's delight. He can counterpunch. He's a southpaw. That makes it hard for his opponents. He can go get you. He can punch pretty good, even though he doesn't have a lot of knockouts. He's defensively responsible. He can box. He can use the ring. He can use his legs. He can set traps. He can do everything. He's comfortable doing anything. And right now, his opponent, who's a little taller, a little bigger, is trying to walk him down. The problem with walking down a complete fighter like Ford is that you can walk into traps. You can walk into counters. And that right now, that's the dimension Ford's giving you right now. He's up against the ropes. He's saying, hey, come on in if you want. He's the spider telling the beetle, come on in. You want to come in? I got something for you. I'll make you miss. I'll make you pay. That round just ended. That's the end of the third round. They just went back to the corner. From what I've seen so far, I haven't seen the scorecards, but so far, Ford is winning the fight. As I said, the third round just ended. Here you see, or at least I see, Jerome Andis is walking into the stadium. He's the welterweight champion. As you can see, he's a big favorite. They're giving the betting odds there. He's a big favorite, as you would expect, against Stanionis. Ennis is a big welterweight. I mean, even there, look at him. I know he's rehydrated and all that stuff, but man, he's a big dude, big welterweight. Everybody's on a phone. Everyone's on a phone. You notice that? Everybody's on a phone. What would we do without cell phones? All right, here's the beginning of the fourth round. Again, getting back to one of my favorite fighters, Ray Ford. Look, Matisse doing himself proud. He's not being embarrassed. He's trying to be aggressive. He's trying to win what would be a major upset, and put him in play for some big fights. He's tall. He's long. He's got that size advantage of Ford, who's moving up in weight. But again, Ford can do it all. Good hand speed, puts punches together well, intelligent punches, well-placed punches. He's never out of position, even there when he missed. His legs wander him. He's not reaching. He's not falling in. He's making sure that he's always balanced. He's always on point. Again, he's going back now. He's letting the bigger man come forward. He's looking to counterpunch a little bit. When he does come forward, he does that. He comes forward the right way. Behind the jab, bringing his feet again. As I said earlier, not getting them, not doing his opponent's work for them, not reaching in, not getting out of position, not making mistakes, not making himself available to a counterpunch. In other words, he practices the sweet science. Good body work. Every once in a while, Matisse, you put those earmuffs on, go into the peekaboo. When you do that, you invite a smart fighter, which Ford is, to beat the drum, to take what you're giving him downstairs, the body. You're putting your hands up, you're going into that peekaboo, you're stationary. There's a target to hit. There's a heavy bag in front of you with arms on it. And when he does that, Ford scores points, goes to the body, puts punches together. Another little smart, subtle thing by Ford. I just noticed when Matisse covers up like this, yeah, he goes downstairs to try to drop the hands of Matisse, but he also he'll throw behind the glove, behind the ear, where he's got a better chance of landing something effective. Again, competitive rounds, competitive fight. But the scientist here is Ford. He just places punches. He doesn't waste anything. If he's not in position for the most part, he ain't throwing. You see Matisse doing a good job of trying to control range. Matisse, I think, could do a little better job of using his reach better. He's walking in now. And again, you're seeing Ford, why I talk about him so brilliantly. He's showing his dimensions. He's showing that he can move off, he can move to the side, he can counterpunch, he can work inside as well as outside. The round ended just now. That's 4 rounds in the books. The 5th round will be coming up. For me, it's been, a good showing by Matisse, who's not obviously the favorite in this fight, but a good showing, a competitive showing, but Ford separating himself with more dimensions. Being able to, here's the replay they're showing right now. Using his jab, catching Matisse with that jab. There's Matisse looking to step back on him. And he did step back. The problem is he stepped back 2 steps in a row, 3 steps in a row on a straight line. I always teach in the gym, you can't do that. 1 step back off to the side. If you go back 2 steps in a row and your opponent follows you, guess what? You're in the path to the punch. You're going to get hit. And good fighters will follow you that way. Ford, perfect example just there on the replay. Ford fell short when Matisse initially stepped out. Ford tried to follow him. He fell short with the first 2 punches. But then Ford continued straight back on a straight line. Matisse continued straight back on a straight line. And what did Ford do? He caught him with the 3rd punch because he pursued him. He took a step with him. I think my son is going to be ready to join us soon.
I'm here with you, bud. I'm watching along.
I'm glad you're here, bud. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. The fans, the people out there, the audience appreciate you, I know. And again,
it's good to be here.
You look, Matisse doing a good job of blocking. There's 3 lines of defense. Move your head, block, or use your legs. You can see Matisse likes to block. That's what he's doing. And he's blocking a lot of the punches. But Ford is controlling the rounds. He's the boss. Whether it's counter-punching, coming forward, stepping forward, going into the gap, whatever it is, he's in charge. And again, Matisse making a good showing of himself, taking nothing away from him. I just think that he should control the outside. Where he is right now, he's got good length. He should use that jab on the outside because Ford's better on the inside. He should use that jab, use his physical asset, like that long right hand. Use his physical advantages. Get full extension on his punches. Get full extension on the jab. Try to keep Ford on the outside. Make it harder for Ford to get in close where he can have an edge with the taller man. Again, I don't think the jab of Matisse is being utilized enough. If you're taller, if you're longer, one of the key components to using those advantages is using your jab. The referee got a little rough there, a little frisky with Matisse there. I don't know why. We don't have the sound on the fight, so we can't hear the commentators explaining whatever they're explaining about why the ref did that. But we can see with our eyes what is going on. And again, it's Ford being a boss. He comes in when he wants, he goes out when he wants. He's got the advantage of hand speed. He puts together punches better than Matisse does. And again, I hate to repeat myself, but it's worth repeating. Matisse not using his jab enough, now just trying to force his way in with those earmuffs on. And as he forces his way in, Ford knows what to do. He makes him pay a price. And his defense is solid. Ford, that is. His defense is solid. Again, there's a reason why I'm so high on him. There's a reason why I think he's one of the most complete fighters in this sport today. That was the end of the 5th round.
That's a huge statement. And a lot of people out there, this might be their first exposure to Raymond Ford. But the more I watch this kid, I think you're right. This guy he's a special talent. Already the 126-pound former featherweight champion. And I think he's going to make a run pretty soon after this fight in the 130-pound division, obviously.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the replays. And there's that punch landed again. Why? He didn't just throw. Ford stepped with Matisse. Matisse went back straight, 2 steps in a row. Ford stepped into the gap with the right hook, the southpaw punch, and he caught him. And he threw it behind him because he knew he would step into it. That is intellect. That is a smart fighter. That is why he was a world champion and will be again, in my estimation. He knew that Matisse was going back. He was forcing him back. And what did he do? He didn't throw the punch to where he was. He threw it to where he was going to be. He was kind of like Tom Brady in football. You're one of the great scouts in the NFL, Bud, for all those years. You could appreciate that. Tom Brady didn't throw the ball to where the receiver was. He threw it to where the receiver was going to be.
That's right.
That's what smart fighters do. Ford comes from a place where there's been other really good fighters in the past. Camden, New Jersey. Dwight Kwawi, former light heavyweight and cruiserweight champ, came from Camden, New Jersey. Again, Ford right now taking what's given him. He's not forcing anything. He's allowing, he's being a spider, allowing a little headbutt there, allowing Matisse to come into his web and seeing if he can lock him up with something.
Yeah, we got some comments coming in. We got one from Matt Borgeson. He's talking about Ford just leaping in right now, potentially leaving himself vulnerable, or maybe for some more headbutts coming up.
I don't think he's leaping in, and I appreciate the fans' input. I really do. I don't think he's leaping in. I think that he's reading the footing of his opponent, Matisse. That's what real good fighters do. He's reading his opponent, and when his opponent's going back, then he leaps in like that. And he knows it's safe because he knows that his opponent is not set to make him pay a price. That's smart. That's taking advantage. That's opportunistic. In life, what do you want to be successful? You want to be opportunistic. He sees the guy going back, not set. He sees an opportunity. He's opportunistic. He follows him. Yes, he jumped in. You're right. The fan is right. But he did it at a time he could do it. He could get away with it. And it was perfect. Again, yeah, he reached in. Yeah, he jumped in a little bit. But he knew that he had Matisse stepping out. And even when he jumps in, it's not a jump like some people where their upper body betrays them, where they fall forward, they get out of position. He still has his legs under him. It's not like he's diving into a pool head first. I mean, he still has control over his body. See there, even there, he followed him, but he didn't lunge. He had control. He had his legs under him. And again, he knew that he had his opponent going out where he wasn't set to punch. See, if I'm Matisse, but you got to do this in the gym, you got to be a teacher. But if I'm Matisse's corner, I'm telling him, look, this is what we're going to do. We got to trick this guy. He's really good, obviously. We got to set a trap. We got to give him a little bit of misdirection, kind of like what you guys do in football, where you do an end around, where you do a reverse play. You got a fast defense, and you know they're going to pursue. So what do? You let them think you're going one way, you go the other way, and you trick them. I would tell Matisse, start to take a step out with your back foot, with your right foot. Start to take a step out. And when Ford reads that and starts to come at you and propel himself, like the fan said, propel himself a little bit, stop and counter and see if you can catch him on the way in. In other words, take a half step back and then stop and then fire and see if you can catch Ford doing what he just did, coming in. But the problem is that Matisse hasn't been taught that. You know, you got to be taught that in the gym. You got to be prepared for that. You got to watch. That's why you watch film. You watch film of your opponent. You see the tendencies. As a trainer, my job is to prepare my fighter the best I can for what he's about to face. So I'm watching film on Ford. I notice before the fight, hey, he does reach in. He does do what he just did there. What the fan said, he did it again. He comes flying in. So what are we gonna do? We got to try to take advantage of that knowledge, of that habit. We got to set something, create something to lay a trap, to take advantage of that, to work that against him. And the trap would be in the gym, I would have said, okay, we're going to take a half step back and then just stop and fire a straight right hand and see if you can catch Ford coming in. But you have to prepare for that ahead of time. You would have had to have set that up by watching film, seeing the habits like you just saw there again, and then teaching your fighter what to do in that situation, having a strategy. Right now, quite frankly, Matisse, I like him, gutsy kid, but he don't have a strategy. He's just trying to walk in. And that ain't going to work with a complete fighter like this. And maybe he doesn't know how to step back and set that trap. Fine. But at least use your God-given physical asset of long arms. Use that jab. Try to keep Ford on the outside with that jab. Don't walk into counters. Don't make Ford's job easy by giving up your height like you're doing there, even though he landed a right hand a little bit, not clean. But he's being aggressive now. Give him credit for that. He's trying. But, again, Ford just more complete. You know, I'd love to see Matisse use that jab, control the outside, and put the onus on Ford to make mistakes, to take chances, to try to get in. And then look to see if you could maybe just pot shot him as he tries to come in. Counter him as he tries to get in. What I like to used to say, if I had a fighter with a reach advantage, but I used to like to say, look, let's keep on the outside and let's make him go through a bad neighborhood to get to you. Put the pressure on him. He's got to take the gamble. He's got to do the work. He's got to go through a bad neighborhood to get to you, and then we'd look to mug him. But again, Matisse not using that jab, just putting the earmuffs on, tucking up, peekaboo, and walking forward. And as I've been saying since we started this, Ford is too smart for that, too complete, two-dimensional for that. End of another round. For me, it's a shutout.
Yeah, shutout. The only thing Ford is missing, it seems like, is power. Doesn't have that big pop or one-punch power to him.
No, you're right, but he can get your attention. But you're right. And that's why I think he's got good people with him. I think that's why they look to sometimes when they have a guy like that. First of all, he makes up for it by being a complete fighter. He don't depend just on power. But you're right. To your point, when you have a guy like that that doesn't have that dynamite in his hands, you like to get him to be also pay attention to the body, because you don't have to be a TNT puncher to hurt someone in the body. You just have to score clean in the right spots.
Yeah. Our guy Matt Borgeson chimed in with another question about Matisse. He's saying he doesn't seem to be stopping the pressure on Ford. Do you think he's looking to burn Ford out going into the 10th round?
It's a little late for that strategy.
Yeah, he didn't put enough water in the basement, as you would say.
My man, my man who just asked that question. You're my man. Well, little late. Like the old times would say, $1 short, day late. He ain't burning them out now. Maybe he thought he was going
he
to do
needed
that.
to do more early. Go to that body to try to take away the movement.
Yeah.
Just too fast for him. You're right. He needs to try to set a trap. That's his only chance, it feels like.
And you see Ford go to the body, there he goes. And smart. Why? Well, it's always smart to go to the body if you can, but two reasons, especially here. The guy's giving you the body, he's covering up. I mean, he's blocking, but when he covers up like that and goes into that heavy bag type look, there's body in front of you, and he's taller, and that means there's a tall body. There's a lot of body if a guy's tall. So why not go there? And you can see Ford, again, he does it by the numbers. He's a good, solid, technical fighter. He goes to the head and the body. He mixes it up. Again, I want to see people say, "Oh, I wasn't satisfied with this win over 20." He didn't win yet, but 22-4-1. Matisse, look, Matisse has been in with some good fighters back in 2020. He lost the decision to Pitt Cruz, one of
a majority decision. Yeah.
Yeah. Good close fight. Majority decision. One judge had it even. So, he's in there with a real guy, and here he is taking what's given him. He's got an opponent that's not using a jab. He's just covering up. He's trying to break him down. He's just trying to put pressure on him, but not effective pressure, not smart pressure, just walking him down. You can't do that to a complete fighter, to a fighter who's complete mentally and technically and physically. Ford's not getting broken down mentally. He's from Camden, New Jersey. He had a good amateur background. He was a world champion. He is not getting broken down.
Does he remind you of anybody?
He reminds me of good fighters.
Good answer.
Good, complete fighters. I mean, there's spots there. I know people are going to criticize me. There's spots, of course, he's a southpaw. But there's spots there where he looks like a young Floyd Mayweather, where, when Mayweather was not only a great defensive fighter, but he moved his hands and he didn't waste anything. And he was good at putting combinations together. He's got that little bit of a look, just the look of a good, complete fighter. And to your point on the podcast we did this past week, you talked about how happy you were that boxing was coming back to Atlantic City. And you just saw a shot of the arena there in Atlantic City. There was a time, you were there, there was a time I called a lot of fights for ESPN. There was a time where Atlantic City was the capital of boxing in this country. I mean, I know Vegas became, I get it. But there was a time when Atlantic City, AC, baby, you had Arturo Gatti, you had so many good fighters fighting there. You go back further, you had Matthew Saad Muhammad, you had the guy I mentioned earlier from Camden, New Jersey, Dwight Kwawi. You had so many terrific fights and fighters. You had network television doing fights from there every week. It's good to see. It went away from Atlantic City for many, many years. It's good to see it come back.
Yeah, it's great to see it come back. It's been way too long, and I've had some great memories there at that Boardwalk Hall as a kid. We were there for Toro Gatti, Mickey Ward, the first one, and many other fights, even watching Floyd Mayweather and some great, great champions.
And Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti, that first fight, that passes the test of time, where that could match up with any fight in the history of this sport, any fight. And there's been many, many, many great fights in this great sport that's been around longer than any other sport. But that fight matches up with any of them, like Castillo and Corrales. That's another one. You know, you go back to the 70s when network TV was, and you had so many good fighters fighting each other. You had Bobby Chacon and Bazooka Lamone and you had Boza Edwards, so many great fighters. And but right now, again, we're in the 9th round of a 10-round fight, and Ford is in charge. I think it's a shutout. He's in charge. He's got a game opponent, but an opponent that, you know, didn't come with the right plan. You know, you got to have the right plan. I'm not saying it would have worked anyway, because this guy is that talented of a fighter, but he obviously, Matisse came to fight, you know, came to give everything he's got, but he hasn't used everything that he has. He hasn't used that length. He hasn't used that jab enough. He used it there. He should have been using it all night long. Our man who asked the questions earlier talked about putting pressure on going to the body. He should have been doing that earlier. He should have been using a jab earlier. And he's talking now. Talking ain't going to get it done. Hitting your chest ain't going to get it done.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's got to be 9 rounds to 0 right now.
Just doesn't use that natural advantage of length. You can see Ford understands range real well. He knows he's just slightly out of the range of the punches. Just little subtle things. He knows that he's just slightly, that's the end of the round. He knows he's slightly out of the range of the punches of Matisse. A lot of fighters don't recognize things like that.
We got some comments. Some of the guys, Matt thinks he looks like a 70s fighter, but some guys saying Ford reminds him of Floyd Mayweather Sr.
Okay, that's a good one. I said Junior. Floyd Mayweather Sr. was a good fighter, obviously. And then later did a good job training fighters. But yeah, okay, I could go with that. Listen, I'll go with what I said to you, bud. He reminds me of a good fighter.
Yeah,
I'm
really
not trying
good
to be a wise guy either.
I think he's going to take over this 130-pound division. I mean, Oshaki Foster's got a belt there. One of the belts is vacant. Navarrete is probably the biggest name at 130 pounds now. But I think the Ray Ford show is coming soon.
I don't think a lot of people are going to want the Ray Ford show.
No.
Because there's 2 problems that come with it. The first problem is Ray Ford. That's a problem. That's the big problem. That's the big one. But the other problem is he hasn't gotten to the point yet where you can make a lot of money with him. There's a lot of risk, but not a huge amount of reward. And there, to our man who asked the question, smart fan, you're right. He propels himself. You're right. But he does it at the right time when the opponent is going back, where he's not set to punch. And he doesn't do it to the point where he's skydiving. He don't skydive. He don't fall into the freaking space, into the air. He still has his legs under him.
The stylistic matchup's not making for the most action or making too fan-friendly of a fight here. That ball fight, you know, allowed it to be such a good fight, this style, right? That's why I would love to see him fight Navarrete. The pressure, leaving some, you know, openings for him to fill. But stylistically, think that'd be a great matchup.
You're right. You're right. You're not only a great talent finder for 15 years in the NFL, great scout and great host of The Fight, our podcast, and great partner and great son, but you could be a great matchmaker, maybe. That would be that's an easy one. That's an easy one. Come on.
Well,
but,
I wanted to make the rematch between him and Nick Ball, but he had other plans and moved up to 130 pounds, so we didn't get that one.
And you got to love Nick Ball. I mean, that guy, one of the most fun fighters to watch.
Talking about a Toro Gatti, he's Similar style, right? You know what you're getting every time he fights. He's bringing it.
And talking about a jab that this tall man Matisse didn't use, here's a short guy in ball. And some people that don't know him are going to be surprised I say this. He uses his jab. Here's a short guy who's aggressive, right? Who comes to get you, but he uses his jab. His jab is underrated, Nick Ball. And here's a guy who you would expect to use his jab because of his height and his reach and his size in Matisse, and he doesn't use it. But that's got to be put in place by the trainers. That's got to be done in the gym. Now he's just trying to go all out. You know, give him credit, Matisse. He's trying. But here's where the other dimension of Ford comes in, the defense. He's not easy to hit. He's what a good fighter is. He's complete in all facets of the game. And that's going to be about it. Ring the bell. There it is.
That's it. That's an easy one to score.
Yeah, that's a shutout. I mean, I have it that way, but
yeah, no question.
And taking nothing away from Matisse, great effort, you know, just not a smart effort. And I'm not knocking him. I'm doing my job. This is my job. What am I going to do?
We got a question.
I'm too old to get a new job.
One of our guy Matt again. He's saying he doesn't think Navarrete could deal with the footwork if Ford utilizes more lateral movement. Can't see Navarrete edging Ford. Footwork is too good.
I'm with you, but I'm not gonna rule out anything with a champion with the heart of Navarrete and the success of Navarrete so far in his life. I'm not gonna rule anything out, you know, because one of the abilities of champions in life or in the ring is their ability to find a way. And that's one of the, I think that would be fair to say, one of the assets of Navarrete, not just his length and his size and that he throws a lot of punches and blah, 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 blah. But he has the capacity to find a way, to overcome, to find a way. So you can't just dismiss a guy because that is one of the subtleties that he has that you don't recognize immediately. One of the subtle talents, one of those X factors that he has that you don't quantify. It's not quantified by looking at the statistical stuff, the physical stuff, but it's there. It's there that he finds a way, figures it out, and he overcomes. Yeah, what he wouldn't be able to deal with the footwork, he'll find another way to do it. Maybe he'll step out and make the ring a little spacier where the angles are harder to get now. That's what I would have a fighter do. Step back. I got a guy who's real good at giving me angles with his feet. I'd make him step back. Now all of a sudden he's giving an angle to what? To what? To somebody who's not in front of him. Now he don't have that edge. Now he don't have that angle to work off. So there's ways to make up for that stuff. But good point by the fan.
Yeah, so with the fight out of the way, the main event will be next. So before we get to the guys walking out to the ring, for those that didn't tune into our podcast and listen to your preview and prediction, want to just touch on the main event coming up?
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank you for being here first. I want to thank Bennett Garcia, my man. Richie, who's works with us too. He's not here right now. Yeah, there's an interview being done in the ring right now by Ray Ford. We don't have the sound on, but let me set up the main event. Stanionis and what we're going to look to see with the champion Ennis. Ennis, big favorite, big welterweight. Kind of like I talked about Ford, he can do everything. He can go get you. He's got great size. He can control the outside. He's fundamentally solid. He's technically buttoned up. He's talented. He's got good hand speed. He can put punches together. He punches good. He can go to the body, go to the head. He's defensively responsible. Again, he could go in the trenches. He could stand on the outside and control range. He could set traps, counter punching, use his legs when he has to, box a little bit. There's a reason why he's one of the guys that people talk about when they talk about boxing in general as a name that comes to mind. He never became the dominant guy that everyone thought he was going to be. I mean, he's dominant in the welterweights. He's dominant. He's undefeated with a big record. But he never quite became, not yet. He's still got time. He's at that place now that he's going to do it, I guess, or trying to do it. But he never quite got to that place that fighting a Crawford would have taken him to. I mean, he never. Everyone talked about, could he be the guy? The boogeyman in the welterweight. Could he be the guy to beat Crawford? Could he be the guy to do this? Could he be guy? But he hasn't quite gotten a dance partner to do that with. But I still find him as one of the top fighters. Obviously, I'm being Captain Obvious. But as I said about Ford, one of the most complete fighters you're going to see. I don't know that you've seen his best yet. Maybe you have. Maybe he doesn't have that star quality at that next level that we're all waiting to see. Maybe, I don't know, but you usually need that star, that dance partner. Jarvis Astaire, the great dancer, needed Ginger Rogers. You need that. Muhammad Ali needed Frazier, needed Foreman. You need that person that brings the greatness out in you. That's still probably in his future. But right now, tonight, Ennis against Stanionis. Stanionis, right away, his first shortcoming is he's one-dimensional. He's a tough kid. He's undefeated. He hasn't learned how to lose yet, bud. He's got that going for him. He's solid technically, covers up, blocks well. Fundamentally pretty solid. Does it pretty basic. Presses forward behind the jab for the most part. Like I said, he'll move his head in spots. He'll block in spots. He likes to be aggressive. He wants to get inside. The only way he's going to win this fight with Ennis is if he can get inside, but he's got to get in clean. If he can get in without taking a lot of damage and set up shop on the inside and go to work, which I don't know if he can, because Ennis can work inside too. Ennis has the ability to put punches together inside short. Nice. Yeah, Ennis will have the edge on the outside in this fight. Stanionis will have to get inside. But that's not the end all. He's going to have to get inside and do efficient, effective work when he gets inside. He can't just get inside and then get tied up or throw two punches, then he's outside. He's got to set up shop and do damage inside. Otherwise, he ain't winning this fight. And he's got to go to the body, the big body, the long body of Ennis. So I think that's a pretty good preview. Sort of, just a bird's eye view, if you will. If you were taking a picture from an airplane, that's an overview of the fight where Ennis could do it all. Stanionis, tough kid. He's going to look to be the boss. He's going to look to be aggressive, but he's one-dimensional. So you know how he's going to come at you. If you got a guy, if you got a whether it's a fight or whether it's an opponent in the courtroom or whether it's an opponent on a basketball court or on a football field, your field of play, bud, you want to know how they're going to come at you. You know Stanionis is going to come at you one way. He's going to come in that front door. That's a disadvantage for Stanionis because that is his one dimension. Ennis, as I said early, multi-dimensional, big edge, and he's got more talent. He's more talented. He's faster. He punches better. obviously, from everything I gave you on the preview, I like Ennis. I
Yeah.
like Ennis. It's a matter how, if he wins, how does he win? Does he win explosively? Does he win where he puts himself in that conversation that we started this about, of being the next star that everyone's been waiting to label him with?
I feel like there's a lot of pressure on him tonight to have that performance, to have that spectacular finish. It seems like some fans have soured after his last fight, and I feel like he does feel a little added pressure. With that being said, I'm going to put you on the spot. You picked the favorite tonight is Jaron Ennis, the 6-1 favorite. Is it going to be by decision or by knockout? And for those who might want to put a friendly wager out there and wager responsibly, will the fight go the distance? No, plus 120. Yes, minus 155.
Well, go the distance. No is plus 120, and
Yes is minus 155.
yeah, of course. Because listen, I think it's gonna go rounds. If he did get a stoppage, I would think it could happen anytime, but I would think Ennis would get the stoppage late. He'd have to wear him down to the body. He'd have to break him down. I think that if you want to look for certain punches, I think Stanionis is available or open to getting caught with uppercuts from Ennis. He throws a good uppercut. The way Stanionis comes in with his hands up, I think he's a little shorter. He leans sometimes. You could catch him with the uppercut. I would look for Ennis to concentrate on that punch. I also think Ennis would have a chance. He goes lefty and righty. I think that he'd have a chance to blind him with the jab and then split the guard down the middle with a straight right hand or a straight left hand if he's standing in the southpaw position. Those are the punches. If Ennis is going to get him out of there, it's going to be one of those two, or it's going to be a body punch. It's going to be along those lines. I would go towards it going rounds. I would go towards it going possibly the distance, but definitely late in the fight. My strength, if I have any strengths besides having you as my partner, that's a strength. But if I had any other strengths, live wagering. When I see it live, I can say, hey, you know what? This guy ain't lasting more than the next round. Or this, I see a right hand's got this guy's name on it in the next 3 rounds. That's the stuff that I feel that I can separate myself with from other people. And we'll look to do a little of that tonight.
Yeah, we will. I'll make sure to throw that out to you.
But right now, I love to pick Ennis by knockout because he's got a one-dimensional game guy who's undefeated, who's never fought at this level before, never been on this kind of stage before. I would love to take Ennis by KO. Are we doing okay with that over there? Yeah, okay. I would love to take Ennis by KO. I just don't have complete confidence that in the temperament. I like Ennis a lot. That's obvious. I just mentioned a million reasons why I think he's one of the top fighters out there. I just don't have full confidence in his psyche, where he's the kind of guy that will push to get the knockout, that craves for the knockout. I think Crawford is a guy that will look to do that in certain. So I know he didn't do that against Matrimorph. That was his first time. Give the guy a pass. He moved up in weight. He moved up to a whole different weight class. Give him a little time. But for the most part, Crawford does have that temperament. I haven't necessarily always seen it with Ennis as much. But right now,
could that change with this being a hometown fight for him? Essentially, he's from Philly, fights in Atlantic City, and maybe the crowd, gets him to go for it.
Like they say, like we say, right? Like people out in life say, it's time for that. If there was a time, it's time now for two reasons. One, for what you just touched on, he's home, so it's time for that to come out. Yeah, if it's going to come out, yes, now would be the time for it to come out. And one other reason, what we talked about earlier, that he's at this point where he wants the big fights, he wants the superstardom, and if you want that, hey, you need knockouts. I'm sorry to be that candid about it, but you know what? Hey, pal, you want that big stuff? Go knock the guy out. That's kind of how you get that.
Yeah, no question. We will see how it plays out tonight. I'm starting to think this may be his last fight at 147 pounds. And then we may see him at 154. Maybe we get the Virgil Ortiz matchup we thought we were going to get at 147. We shall see. Before we get this fight going and these guys walking in the ring, I have a question going back to Raymond Ford. We got a question from our guy, Matt. He's asking, what do you think of a matchup versus him and Stephen Fulton? Fulton obviously just won the belt at 126 pounds versus Figueroa after moving up in weight, right? He had lost to Inoue before that. Stylistically, could maybe be a boring fight, but if Fulton were to move up to 130 pounds, what do you think of that one?
No, good fight, good fight. To your point, I don't know if it'd be exciting. They're a little similar. Both guys are good, solid, fundamental, technical fighters, good defensively, smart. They don't take a lot of gambles. They're pressed. You saw Ford do it, but they're not reckless in any way. They're not overly aggressive. They're not foolishly aggressive. They're smart, complete fighters. It might be a chess match, a little bit of a chess match. I'm not going against Ford. I'm just not. I think that much, but I like Fulton a real lot. He came back off that, in a way, destructive loss. He came back beautifully with Figueroa, a tough guy. I love Figueroa. You got to love him. He throws so many punches. He's so tough. He's so aggressive. He's so relentless. But to the credit, and he deserves credit, man, to the credit of Fulton, he dealt with it. And he dealt with it beautifully. I know it was a rematch, but he dealt with it beautifully.
And in Timberlands.
Yeah, Timberland shoe. I thought he had real Timberland boots on until you told me, no, they just look like him. I actually said, oh my God, he's fighting with Timberland boots.
No, they did. They look good.
But he did a job in that fight. He fought inside, he fought outside, he handled the pressure. He matched Figueroa's punch output. Figueroa kept coming, trying to break him down like he does everybody, go to the body, and he got inside where he wanted to be. And what did Fulton do? He gave him a taste of his own medicine. He worked right with him on the inside. Short punches, smart punches, with defense mixed in. I mean, it was a great display of fighting by Fulton. He is very... I'll tell you, he's a good, solid, complete, tremendous fighter, just like Ford. And it would be a hell of an interesting fight. It really would be. It might come down to who's a little busier, who's a guy who's just, and that might have been what betrayed Ford a little bit in Saudi Arabia, even though I thought he had the edge. That might have betrayed him a little bit in a Nick Ball fight where he might have gotten out-hustled, outworked, that he's so good, he's so precise that sometimes he won't waste anything and the other guy could outwork him, steal around here and there, out-hustle him, out-flash him a little bit. Fulton might have a tiny bit of an opportunity in that area to do that. But again, it would be an interesting fight.
Yeah, it really would. And some of the fans were just saying it'd be a local fight. Could be another one in Atlantic City. Fulton from Philadelphia, obviously Ford from New Jersey. So, but all right, going back to now the main event, Ennis Stanionis. Stanionis is the first and only, that first ever Lithuanian world champion. We'll see if he could keep that going and defend it tonight. But since he's won the title, it's been a little bit of a curse, right? He was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz. That fight fell through due to I think it was appendix that he had. Then they were supposed to fight a second time. Virgil Ortiz is injured. The fight falls through. A third time, Virgil Ortiz struggled with weight. He moves up to 154 pounds. He went 2 years of inactivity before defending his belt, and now it's been another year. Do you see the inactivity may be posing a problem to the question earlier. Is that potentially a way that Ennis get the stoppage in the later rounds?
That's a good question. It's a good observation. It's an astute question by astute fans, astute people. Yeah, it doesn't bear good for him. It's not an advantage. It's another disadvantage in a fight that he already has a lot of disadvantages. Stanionis we're talking about against Ennis. You know, you don't need any more disadvantages. You're already going in as a big underdog for a reason, where you're on the short end of a lot of the things you don't want to be on the short end of. And now you got that too, inactivity. You got that added to the list. So yeah, that doesn't help him. Yes, that's if you wanna talk yourself into taking a knockout, a late round stoppage, going with the under rather than the over, where you get back some money taking the under. If you want to talk yourself into that in a reasonable way, you can do that. You could do that. Yeah. It definitely isn't a positive, that's for sure. And look, I think that there's a chance Ennis can. Look, I'm going to go out on a line. I'll say this: I'm not afraid to do that. Why am I going to be afraid now? I think Ennis should. I think he needs to get a stoppage in this fight. I do. If he wants to make that, either way, he's going to make that jump to that big place. He's earned it, but if he really wants the fans to buy in and he wants to make his argument really louder that he's that guy, where his promoter, Eddie Hearn, who does a great job, that's his promoter, right? Eddie Hearn, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah, he's with Matchroom. Yep.
Yeah, he does a great job, Eddie. And he's smart. He's a good talker. He understands boxing. If he wants to give Eddie Hearn more talking points, look even smarter than he already is, then you need to go and stop this guy. You need to go and get rid of this guy. And look, I'm not taking nothing away from Stanionis. Again, he's never learned how to lose. He's a game guy. He's fundamentally solid, but he's not as talented as Ennis. He's not supposed to. If Ennis is that guy, if he's him, then he's supposed to be able to get rid of this guy. And I don't mean to demean anyone. This is my life, this business. I don't demean any fighters, but I do mean to say what I believe and to say it straightforward. And sometimes you got to be on one side or the other of issues. And in this case, if Ennis wants to be that guy, this is the time to go and knock out this guy.
Yep, I'm with you.
He already wins the contest of best outfit. I mean, he's won that. They're showing him in the locker room. I don't know if you guys are with us or if you're ahead of us, but with the syncing of the streaming here, you never know. But Ennis is smiling. He's with his crew. He's got that outfit. It's a nice outfit. Stanionis is just, well, he's just Stanionis. You know, he's going more the blue collar approach. You know, he's going the approach you would expect. He's the underdog, and nothing fancy. Just got a t-shirt on and getting ready to go to work. The thing I noticed about Ennis a minute ago, and you know this is one of my pet peeves, Bud, I see a big beard. I don't understand why the commissions. Again, I'm not knocking no one. Everyone does it. The fighters I love, great fighters, Beterbiev. Nobody I respect more than Beterbiev, but he's got a huge beard. A lot of them do. There was a day, I go back a long way in boxing. There was a day I can tell you, and I can tell the fans out there, where the commissions had rules. You couldn't have a beard like that because they thought it might cushion a blow. They thought that if a guy had a cut, you could use it to open the cut up a little bit more or to aggravate the skin a little bit with the beard. They thought it was an unfair advantage. They made you come in clean shaven, or they tell you you could come in with 1 or 2 days worth of of growth, but not beyond that. They didn't let you. They had rules. They had regulations on it. I remember where if you didn't adhere to their rules with the beard and you came in beyond what they thought was the appropriate width of the beard, they'd come into the locker room with a razor and shaving cream and say, "You want to fight tonight? Go in that sink in the back, and after you shave, rinse it all out. Don't leave the stubs in the sink, all right? Do me a favor, rinse it out a little bit too, and give me the razor back." Yeah, the commissioners were a little cheap. They were a little tight.
Nothing's what it used to be. Even the Yankee players have beards now. Never.
That's a good point. That's a good point. What happened to the Yankees? The Yankees, the pinstripes, they had to get on the plane, on the bus with suits on, with clean shaven haircuts. What happened? What's going on? But that I get it. I get the Yankees. I get you want that look. You want that what you figure is the look that is representative of your club, of your culture, of what that Yankee organization stands for, how far it goes back, class, all of that. I love with the college kids in the football. They get on the bus for the championship game when they used to get on with Lou Saban from the Alabama, the great coach. And they all got on with Nick Saban, I'm sorry. And they all got on with suit and ties. I loved it. Just loved it. That they're representing their team. They're representing their school. All of that. I think that's good. I think that's important. I think that's a great message for other people, for other young people to emulate. But in boxing, it goes deeper. It goes to a physical advantage. It goes to something that can be dangerous. It goes to something that could be an advantage, where you could open a guy's cut a little bit, or where it could cushion a blow a little bit. It speaks to a different thing. It's not just about, how you carry yourself and how you represent yourself and a class, if that's what you believe in, but it goes to a physical advantage.
Yeah, look at that beard. I'm looking at the photo now at the tail of the tape.
Look at that. Look at that, Ben. I got my man Ben here. He's looking too.
But just quickly before they walk into the ring, if you're the trainer and you're the manager in the other corner and you file, you oppose this and you go to the commission, what does that conversation look like? They're not doing it anymore? Rules have changed?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the rules have changed or nobody calls them on it. That they don't get forced to adhere to the rules. That nobody, they might have a rule that now, instead of it being where you only allowed a couple days growth, maybe you allowed an inch. But who's going in there measuring it?
But let me ask you this. If you're the trainer, are you really asking the other guy to shave his beard? Or does that give him an edge mentally that, hey, you're good enough, the beard don't matter, right? You don't want that in your fighter's head that we need this guy to shave his beard.
I'm going to answer that. I got a fighter fighting Beterbiev. I ain't asking him to shave that beard. Hello, Mr. Beterbiev. You're looking good. How you doing?
And that was my point. You just nailed it. You did have a fighter fight him, and
yeah. I'm not going down that road. I already got enough problems. I got this animal in front of me. I don't need to get him more aggravated. I don't need to give him, like you guys say in your business, I don't need to give him blackboard material. What they call it?
Bulletin board. Yeah, exactly.
Board. I don't need to give him anything. No, you're right. I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm leaving it alone. But that's the thing where the management, let the managers earn their money. The management at the right time, you don't wait to that night. You don't do it that night. You go to the commission, you go to the organizations, and you say, look, we know that our opponent has a habit of wearing a beard. We think the beard is in excess of the rules. First of all, you got to get the rules of that state and the rules of that organization. And you got to see, is there a rule? I don't even know if the rules exist anymore. Nowadays, the way our world is, there are no rules. I mean, when you see a rule, it's like, wow, they got a rule. Wow, they got rules. Oh, good. And in boxing, the problem is they got rules and they don't adhere to them. That's the problem. But, yeah, I would have to manage. I would say, hey, look, we know that he has a habit of bringing this big beard. We don't think it's fair. we want to call your attention to rule number 21E64.5777 in your book that hasn't been used in 82 years. We'd like to bring your attention to that rule. We'd like you to apply that rule. So yeah, it's something for the manager to deal with it. But right now, I think the national anthem is going on. I believe Suzanne Christine is singing the anthem. Again, we don't have the sound. We just have the pictures. And we are minutes away, moments away from Jerome Ennis defending his title against the underdog, Stanionis. And
just going back to what you just to finish, and that's enough on the beer talk. But what's mind-boggling to me is there are other rules, right? Like if you go into the locker room before the fight and the trainer is wrapping the fighter's hand, they're only allowed to use so much gauze and tape to cushion and protect the hand. So then why can the beard who's taking a punch protect as much as it wants? Why have those other rules?
No, you're right, 100%. You're preaching to choir there, brother. That's one of my complaints about the sport that I've been in all my life. You know that.
Yeah,
that,
we're as everybody knows, and I think we're big box row guys by the shirt you're wearing right there, by the shirt I'm wearing here, and our guy Ben Amano owns Box Raw. But with that being said, Box Raw does not have boxing gloves out there yet. They are coming soon. I think they're going to be licensed real soon, and you'll start seeing them in fights, and maybe even Dimitri Bivol wearing them in the trilogy versus Better Beef. What's your favorite glove going up? What's the differences just for the fans and some of the comments out there, questions? The puncher's glove, right? You got Grant, you got Reyes, Everlast. Was there always a preference for you and your fighters, or did you always just leave that up to your fighter and what they were comfortable with?
no, I wanted my fighter. It was a combination. My fighter had to be comfortable. You know, some fighters' hands are bigger, smaller, longer, shorter. I would get. I didn't wait till the last minute. I'd get the glove that we were either going to be directed to use, told we have to use, or mandated to use, or that we chose to use. I'd get the glove, I get new gloves, and I would try them on in the gym and have my fighter work with the pads, work with the bag, um, make sure they were comfortable. I didn't wait to the last minute to say I don't like this glove. I made sure they were comfortable. Well, whatever glove. Look back, going way back in time, way back. Now my glove would be what you just said, box raw, because I've seen the glove. I've seen what Ben Amana has done with the science, with the research of it, with the materials that they're using. It's a good glove.
And you've provided some feedback as the glove is being developed.
Yeah, I've been involved with it. So yeah, I like that glove. But back in the day, it was Everlast because I was involved in the development of that glove. I mean, not the one 100 years ago, but 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, when my late great friend George Horowitz took over the company. God bless him. He died way too young. He brought me in to really to remake the glove, or to make a different version of the glove, to revamp the glove. The glove had been around a long time. He took over the company. He thought there was things that needed to be updated, if you will, changed. So we went into the lab, if you will, went into the warehouse with the people that make these things, and I added my thoughts and expertise to designing a new glove, a new Everlast glove back in the day. And back then, I was behind that glove. But again, that's going back 20, 25, 30 years ago already. Even a tiny bit more. Now I'm not associated anymore with that glove. That glove has gone into different directions. I haven't used that glove for years with my fighters, so I'm not aware of the Everlast glove, whether it's better or worse, the same. I don't know. All I know is now, as I said, I've been involved with the designing and development of the glove that Ben Amana's using with Box Raw, and I like it. I think that it's a good glove. It fits well. It fits the hands. It conforms to the hands. It has the right material that it's built with to give safety to the hands. At the same time, to make you feel the way you need to feel as a fighter. And as we see, speaking about a fighter, we see the champion walking.
Yeah, here comes Ennis into the ring with his pink Grant gloves.
And his boots, that's his nickname, Boots Ennis. You see again, you see his outfit. It definitely tops the outfit of the challenger, but I don't think the challenger came here to win a fashion contest. I think he came here to win a title. So he doesn't care about what he's wearing. I mean, when I see these outfits, it brings me back. You know, I go so far back with boxing. You didn't have these outfits. I mean, you just, you got in the ring. Yeah, you got in the ring with regular terry cloth robes. You got black or white trunks, right? And you got to work. And that was about it. But then you saw the evolution. You saw the '80s. You saw Hector Macho Camacho, and he was one of the pioneers of that stuff back then. The stuff that he brought to the scene, that he brought to the business, and he was a great fighter. He doesn't get enough credit. He really don't. God bless him. He died tragically. He died way too young. You could criticize all you want about whatever his lifestyle. Who's to criticize? Who's the man's gone? Who's to say and stand there and judge another man? All you could do is try to live your life the best you can. All I can tell you about Camacho is that when he was good, when he was undefeated, when he was coming up, he was the fastest fighter I had ever seen. I mean, Pacquiao is up there with those hand speed and everything else. But man, Hector Macho Camacho, again, hate him or love him, I don't care. I'm just telling you, talk about straight stuff that has nothing to do with getting involved with liking or not liking, other than what we're talking about. His speed was surpassed anything I had ever seen. He was that fast. He was that sharp. He was that good. And then he was never the same fighter after the Edwin Rosario fight at the Garden. And I was around for those times when Camacho came into Gleason's gym in Manhattan, where I was training fighters. But he came in before that fight. He got hurt in that fight. He wound up winning that fight. Some people didn't think he won it. I think it was a 15-round fight, if my memory serves me correct. But he defended his title against a really good fighter who also was a world champion, Edwin Rosario. Rosario, very good puncher. He caught him a left hook, and he hurt him. And Camacho ran. He used his legs the rest of the fight to get the decision. Again, a lot of people didn't think he won it. He was never the same fighter after that. He was never as confident. Before that, he wasn't running. People saw him. They said, oh, he runs. He does that. Before that, he didn't run. He beat guys like Bazooka Lamone and other fighters. He used to be set. He would use his speed at the right range. Bop, 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 like machine gun quick. Get to the side, control angles. He wasn't a guy just running around on a bicycle. That started happening more after that Edwin Rosario fight. But when he was right, Camacho, man, that guy was fast. Anyway, we're getting
And we
close.
were talking about Camacho the other day. Besides how fast he was, you were saying he had an unbelievable chin, maybe one of the better chins, right, in boxing. But the fight you're talking about versus Rosario, the fight before that, he fought Freddie Roach. And talking about Freddie Roach, that's his assistant, who is the head trainer, Marvin, for Stanionis there in the corner.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I'm glad you brought that up. And that's his assistant who's training Stanionis right there. You see him
Yep.
on the left, at least my TV, he's on the left of Stanionis. That I think he's been with Freddie for a while now, and I believe that the way he got involved with Roach was through Pacquiao. I believe he was one of the guys that used to work with Pacquiao a little bit, or at
He came
least
in the picture after the departure of your former heavyweight champ, Michael Moore, who was assisting Manny Pacquiao for Freddie Roach. And yes, that's right. But Marvin Samudio.
and everybody's got their signature thing, and here I don't hear him, but I see my man there, the golden voice. I forget what he called himself. He got his start on ESPN with us 30 years ago. And I think he called himself the Golden Throat or the Golden. I can't. He don't now. It's whatever. But he's got a good voice. He's got a good box, as they say, a good voice box. But good. What do they say? They call it good. What do they say in the business? Good pipes. He's got good pipes. But he called
Good
himself
pipes.
the
Good
man
beard.
he called himself the man with the golden something, whatever it was. That nickname didn't last long, but he's the guy now. He's one of the guys following in the footsteps of Michael Buff and all the others that are coming. But they all have their signature thing. They all look for that signature, call, and he
Yeah, they
just did.
do. And
He
he's
just
got
did
the
his.
signature look. But David Diamante does a good job.
Yeah, he's got a good set of pipes, like the old timers would say. And he's made himself. He's put himself in a great position where he's made a career for himself, and give him credit for that. He persevered. He paid his dues. There's the champ, Ennis, with his mouthpiece in already, walking back and forth like a lion in the cage, getting ready to go out.
Yeah, with his father there with him.
33-0, 29 knockouts.
You wear pink, you got to be able to fight,
Yeah, that's what the old timers always said.
right?
I remember. Yeah, I don't even want to get into it, but yeah, um, but yep,
I got his jersey behind me here. Willie Brown, the great Willie Brown would always say, "Dress good, you feel good. You feel good, you perform good. You perform good, you get paid good." I
yeah,
think that's what Ennis is going for tonight.
it's important. It's important that he puts on that show tonight. That he does more than just get a win. I think anyway. We've been talking about it. Yes, I would concur with that. And the great Willie Brown, I know he loved you. You loved him. He was some player with the Raiders. That defense, that backfield, that secondary, the defensive backfield. Nobody wanted to go. Nobody wanted to go deep or across the middle with that defensive backfield.
No,
Nobody. What they call them?
never.
The death squad or something? What did they call
Yeah,
them?
they had them all from Tatum to Atkinson to Old Man Willie. They were gonna let you feel him right away. I miss Old Man Willie. Willie Brown was the best. But here we go, about to get underway, round one here.
All right, what's the first thing I noticed? Stanionis is dry. He's been in the ring a long time. When a guy is dry, he can be susceptible early because sometimes, he's dry, he's stiff, he's now warmed up, and he could be vulnerable early to something quick, something explosive. But that's in the hands of Mr. Ennis. We're going to find out. The pink hands gloves of Mr. Ennis. Ennis right now controlling range, being smart, using his natural gifts and natural physical advantages, length, size, long jab, controlling range, keeping him on the outside, doing what I always talked about if you have a tall guy. Make him go through a bad neighborhood to get to you and then mug him when he comes through. That's what Ennis looks to do. Keep you on the end of his jab. If you're going to come in, look to mug you, make you pay a price to get close. Don't let the guy get close for nothing. Make him pay a price. And when he gets inside, if that's his only hope, tie him up or outwork him inside. I think Ennis could work inside or outside because Ennis' hands are faster and he can throw nice short punches. I don't think he has a problem in the geography that would be the geography that would definitely favor Stanionis. That would be on the inside. I don't think Ennis would have a problem on the inside. He could put nice short punches together on the inside and deal with Stanionis in his area on the inside. But why do that if you can beat him on the outside and the guy's got no chance to match you on the inside? You know, one thing about the inside with Stanionis, he's got a chance. He has to be there to win. But the outside, you see Ennis switching to southpaw. He does that well, kind of like Crawford does. Switches real well. Either side, he doesn't miss a beat. But why, if you're Ennis, and you know you can beat him on the inside too, but you know he's got no chance to beat you on the outside, why not keep it on the outside? And that's what he's doing right now. And that's smart. And that shows you've got a good team, a good corner man, good trainers. Hey, the guy has no shot with you on the outside, no answer to match you on the outside. The inside, he's got a little chance. Keep him on the outside. And that's what he's doing so far. And as you pointed out earlier, I heard you go, ooh, Ennis went to the body earlier. And again, when you see a guy cover up the way that you will see Stanionis cover up, there are opportunities to pick a shot to the body.
Yeah, he covers up high, for sure. You could dig under those elbows.
And again, I'm going to tell you the two punches I'm looking for. That was all Ennis, obviously. Hand speed, combinations, geography, controlling the geography, the place of the ring he wanted to control on the outside where he had the big advantage. So that's all Ennis. That was easy work, as Floyd Mayweather would say. But I would say I got to give the fans something to look forward to here if it's going to hopefully not be a one-sided fight. But if it is, what I always felt that I did a pretty good job with on ESPN all those years, calling all the fights, give you something to look for before it became obvious. And I'm looking for Ennis to zero in on an uppercut or a good body shot, which he does right there. Beautiful right hand to the body. Because, again, he's giving you the body. He's right in front of you. There's a left hook that Stanionis, give him credit. He landed that left hook there on Ennis pulling out. He pulled out from too close, and Stanionis went with him with the left hook, and he caught him. Ennis rode it a little bit. He moved his head. He turned with it. He rode it a little bit, took a little bit of the punch off of it, a little bit of the blow. He rode with it, which a lot of the old time fighters, Jaron was good at that, riding with punches, taking some of the pop off of it. But still, if I'm looking for something here for the fans, I'm looking for the uppercut from Ennis. I'm looking for him to blind them with the jab and split the guard down the middle with a straight left from the southpaw or a straight right from the orthodox, or I'm looking for a body shot. What am I looking for with Stanionis? I'm looking for him to force Ennis back and then step with him and land the left hook. Force him back with pressure, because that's your thing, right? Pressure. So use your thing. Force him back and then step with him and do what we talked about in a Ford fight. Do one of those Tom Brady's, the quarterback. Throw the punch behind him where he's going to walk into it. Like the quarterback throws the ball where the receiver's going to be, not where he is. Throw the left hook behind Ennis. But right now, Ennis not giving him a chance to do anything. He rode that punch. There's the left hook again. But he rode with it. He did. He rode with it. He placed his punches nice.
That uppercut you touched on is
Yeah, you know what I like, Bud? The eyes, the vision. I don't know if everybody would point this
Oh,
out, but the eyes right now, the calmness of Ennis. He's placing punches. Right there, he didn't place that one, but he's placing punches. And that's what I like to see. I like to see smart, educated, nice place left hook underneath. He's looking to place shots. I think he's looking to place an uppercut if he can. Now, look, this is smart. What's he do? He ties up. He ties up Stanionis. Why? Well, I think he could outwork Stanionis inside. But why? That's Stanionis' only chance to work on the inside. So don't give him that chance. You know what I didn't
yeah,
like
very
about
smart.
that? You know what I didn't like about that moment we saw a little while ago on the inside, Bud? I'll tell you what I didn't like. If Stano,
Stanionis' hands behind him.
yeah, if Stanonis is gonna have a chance, and it don't look like he does have much early on, but if he's gonna have a chance to pull off the huge upset,
Has to be inside.
he's gotta not only be inside, he's gotta work. He
Right.
can't put his hands behind the guy. You gotta keep your hands in front where you can work. If you're gonna put your hands behind the guy, why get inside? See, a lot of people don't point that out. They say, oh, the guy tied him up. No, he didn't. It takes two to tango. You let him tie you up. You put your hands where he could tie you up. And that's where the training comes in. That's where the training comes in the gym. You have to be ready for this ahead of time and prepare your fighter ahead of time. There's the left hook. Now, that was a nice left hook. He landed it, but at the same time, Ennis did ride with it. He did ride with it. Watch.
Yeah,
Now
that was
this,
beautiful right there.
oh, there's a beautiful setup for the uppercut. That was a nice trap. He took a
Yeah, that
little step
was.
back. He was a spider. He invited the Beetle in, and he made the Beetle eat an uppercut. That was beautiful. Little step back. You know the guy's aggressive. You know that he gets a little over aggressive. You know he might reach. You know he might bite on it. Sure enough, he came in and he tagged him with a beautifully placed uppercut.
Yeah,
If he don't give you enough problems with his talent, his reach, his size, his dimension, everything else that Ennis has, he's got it all. Oh, he's got everything.
oh,
Then on top of it, he can turn lefty and righty and not miss a step. He's a handful.
yeah, he's looking good. He's looking really sharp right now. It's exactly what you said before the fight. You put up a post and you said this isn't complicated. Stanionis likes to come and walk in, and Ennis makes him go through the bad neighborhood and mugs him. And that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, he's having fun right now. You know, you hear that saying, a lot of fans don't understand. What do you mean having fun? You're in the ring, you could get freaking annihilated. But when you're calm, when you're the better guy, when you have that power, when you have that belief, when you have that package, and it's all together, just like a football player out on the field. Yeah, that's a rough business. But when you're calm, when you're the quarterback, you're in charge, it's
Oh,
fun.
oh, oh, he tangled his feet. All right.
And right now, Ennis is having fun. Yeah, he's the better fighter. He's the much superior fighter. He's having fun right now because he's got the power right now. I don't know. I don't mean physical power. I mean the power of confidence, the power of belief, the power of success. I mean that the power of being a champion. He knows he can do what he wants. And that's what he's doing right now. He's doing whatever he wants. He's mugging the guy on the way in. He's looking to place one shot. That's what he's looking for right now. He's looking to place one shot. I think it's going to be an uppercut, a body shot, or he's going to split the guard. I think he should do with George Foreman. George Foreman was so good at blinding you with the jab. He would make you feel comfortable, and then boom, put a right hand right behind it, right down the middle where you didn't see it. The last thing you saw was the jab. I'm looking for that with Ennis. See that jab of Ennis landing? If I'm Ennis, I'm going to start the jab and put the straight left hand from the southpaw position right behind it. Oh, he got caught a left hook in there. Oh, he
Oh,
got caught a right hand, but he caught Stanionis too. He's going to stop Stanionis. He's going to
I was
stop him.
just gonna ask you
Yeah, he's going to stop in the next round. He's
the
either
next
stop.
round.
Yeah, I think he might stop in the next. I know that I'm going out on
Oh,
a limb a little. I know that. I think he's stopping him. If I'm doing live betting right now, I'm taking a little play on a 4th and 5th round knockout. 4th and 5th round knockout. I think he's starting to zero in. Although he got caught too. He got caught a nice right hand in there. And you know what that was? Give Stanionis credit. He timed him. He punched with him. You're not going to outspeed a guy that's this much better. It's not happening. You got to punch with him. You got to time him. You got to take a chance. And Stanionis sat in the pocket, and as Ennis was throwing, he timed him, and he punched with him. That's the only way you're going to hurt and catch a fighter of this level. Here we go. Here it is.
Well, Jerome
right
Andis,
that was a
round
nice
4. If he finishes him in the 4th round, plus 2,000. Round 5, plus 1,200.
Okay, we got play on both. With small, nothing crazy. You don't need big, because when you're getting back that kind of wood, you're getting back that kind of money. Oh, there's a nice right hook. Wow, Stanionis did something a little cute there. He punched with him. He punched inside the wider punch. He's punched inside the wider punch of Ennis. And you know what else he did to land that right hand? He turned southpaw. Wow.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know he had that dimension to him. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that. He's not as talented, obviously, as far as the neon talent, the obvious talents that jump out. But he's making up for the best he can by having a lot of heart, taking chances, and doing the little things he has to do to make up for what he lacks as far as pure talent.
I think that right hand takes away from the chances of Ennis going for the knockout this round. I'm sure his trainer corrects that when he comes to the corner, is telling him to get back to boxing, not get inside and trade with this guy. That's what this guy needs, right?
Yeah, I agree. But I think on the outside, he's got a chance to walk
with the uppercut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
And maybe a good body shot.
I think it comes down to a point, though, and you see Ennis feeling himself dancing and showboating. Does he want it? Does he go for it? Right? That's if so, I think he gets it.
But that's what you brought up before this started. Yep. And I said it's the temperament of him. Crawford would go for it. I don't know that it's the temperament of Ennis to go for it, as you just said. Again, you brought it up. I don't think it's the temperament of Ennis to go, there's a right hand again. Give credit to Stanionis. And this is something that people have been critical of Ennis, who are critical. He gets hit. He does get hit. He's got the ability to do so much in there. And sometimes you think, why is he getting hit? He's so good. He's so polished. He's technically sound, but he does get hit. And but he's getting hit by a guy who isn't just chucking punches. He's throwing at the right time. And again, the only way you're going to hit a guy at this level, if you're a guy like Stanionis, is you got to time him. You got to punch with him. You got to punch at the right time. Wow, that was fancy.
He's looking sharp.
Yeah, he's showing off a little bit right now, and that takes away from getting a knockout. Again, to your point, to my point early, the temperament. He could get the knockout in this fight, but will his temperament allow him to? Will it make him want to get it, have to get it, hungry to get it? Crawford it would, but Ennis isn't trying to be Crawford. He's trying to be Ennis. So we don't get the win in this round, but we still got to play in the 5th round for a knockout.
I see what you're saying with the uppercut and walk him into a shot. I just think, to your point and what you just said, with the demeanor and him getting caught with a couple shots early on, I see him getting more rounds in the bank. And if anything, I think it's going to come from an accumulation of punches and a stoppage, if anything, later, or maybe the corner. And Stanionis is starting to take a lot of punches already.
Yeah, and listen, that's kind of what we laid out at the beginning. We looked to go rounds, I said that I think it's going to go rounds, obviously.
You have it 4-0 right now?
Yeah.
4-0? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Stanionis landed a couple clean shots, but it wasn't quite enough to make up for the work of of Ennis. Again, whatever he's telling him in that corner, it has to involve two things: position and timing. Get into the right distance position, that means a little close, and throw the punch at the right time. Out there, you're not going to get it. Ain't going to get it. Ain't going to get it. You got to get close. And if I was Stanionis, I would use my jab. I get frustrated when these shorter guys that want to be aggressive. That's what I like about Nick Ball. He will use the jab. And that's what Mike Tyson did. He was short. He was shorter than everyone. But his jab had a lot to do with his being effective and landing the big shots. He used his jab to get there. And right now, Stanionis using the jab a little bit. I think the jab, when you're a shorter man, I think it's just as important, maybe more important, to use it when you're the shorter man than it is when you're the taller man. We know when you're taller, you like Ennis right now, you should use that jab. We understand that. But when you're the shorter guy, take away the taller guy's jab with your jab. Slip to the side like Tyson did and use your jab. Give him something to worry about. Stanionis is doing himself proud.
You just caught him with a nice right hand again. With a beautiful hard jab.
Yeah, the jab. That jab is important. If I'm in a corner, I know we want to land power shots. We want to get close. I get it. But we got to use the jab to try to offset the dominance of Ennis on the outside with his jab, and also make it easier for us to get close, make it more effective aggression behind the jab. Where's that jab, Stanionis? You need that jab. You need that jab. You need that jab. I know he's tall. I know he's this, he's that. Use your jab anyway. Don't just concede the advantage of the jab because he's longer and taller. There's a good jab. He's using the jab pretty good this round, Stanionis. This ain't a bad round for Stanionis.
No, another nice right hand got in too.
I still got a shot to get my knockout here. Still got my shot. I know he's looking for a bomb. Better be careful. I still got my shot for the knockout. I still got my shot. I called it 5th round. I still got a shot. I still got a shot. Stanionis is letting it go, though. Give him credit.
Stanionis got a lot of heart. What a tough son of a gun.
Good fight.
Good round. This is. It's good round here.
Oh, he's doing a little Mayweather stuff there. Ennis making a punch miss, looking off to the ground. You know what?
He is doing what you said earlier. He is beautifully placing shots.
Yeah. Hey,
that was a close round. I mean, Ennis just closed it pretty strong there, but I thought Stanionis was having the round before that. Who do you give that round to?
No, I give that to Ennis.
Yeah, with the close.
Yeah. I mean, look, Stanionis landed some good shots, and we give him credit, but that's not over-exaggerated just because he did what we didn't expect him to do. You know, don't go and give him a round just because he's still there, just because he did better than we thought he would do. You know, Ennis still did more. Stanionis did great. He landed some good, clean shots, but Ennis landed more. Ennis still had control of the round. Good round, though. Good round. Maybe you say, well, Stanionis landed the harder punches. He landed a big right hand right there. Does that put him in position to win a round? Yeah, it does. But there's a couple good shots right there. Not as clean as the shots Stanionis landed, but that's not only the work that Ennis did. He did other work. But on that big, clean right hand that Stanionis landed, I'll tell you, you want to make an argument to try to give him the round, you can make an argument, but I still give it to Ennis. But you can make an argument. And I do you see why I thought there was a shot he was going to stop him in the 5th, bud?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I thought it was worth throwing a small play because you're getting back 1,200.
I still think it's coming, but I think a few more rounds.
Did a mouthpiece come out?
No.
No. I'm looking for that uppercut by Ennis. or maybe a good body shot. So now if Stanionis is going to have a shot now, and he's showing you that he's not bad. He came ready to win. He came prepared to win. He understands he's got to get close. He's got to time the faster man if he's going to land clean, and he's done that with the right hand beautifully. He's thrown it at the right time as Ennis was throwing. But if he's going to start taking rounds, he's got to be consistent using his jab to get in. And when he gets in, he's got to keep his hands where he can work. He can't stay on the outside. He ain't winning on the outside. He ain't winning on the outside. Not a bad fight, but I tell you, it's turned out to be a interesting, entertaining enough of a fight.
Yeah, for sure.
You could say it's one-sided, but it's one-sided with opportunities where Stanionis at least keeps himself in a fight, where he gives you a reason to watch, a reason to think, well, maybe he can land something here. Just enough. Although for the most part, it is Ennis controlling things. You know why Ennis gets hit? You know what his father does a good job, good body shot, good body shot. He hurt him with the body
I think that
shot.
hurt him, that left hook.
Yeah, that was a good
Now,
body shot.
pouring it on. Oh,
yeah. I was 1 round short on the knockout.
well,
1 round shot.
Not yet. Still got gonna have about 20 seconds here to try to finish this one.
Yeah, there's blood.
Should go right back to the body, right?
Yeah. And, he set up that body shot like Mickey Ward used to set it up. He went upstairs and then downstairs with the left hand. Really beautifully. Really beautifully. Really beautifully. Beautifully. He's got his eye on that left hook to the liver. And that's where he's going to stop him, I think.
Oh, yep. Just as you said, I went right back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Stanionis is really legitimately tough guy. I'll tell you why Ennis gets caught and where they got to work. He gets caught because of his talent. There's another guy with great talent who doesn't get caught too much, Shakur Stevenson, with his beautiful family. Listen, I'm going to tell you why Ennis, and he's gotten caught a couple times tonight. He'll take chances. I like that. He'll take chances. That's one reason. He'll fight with you. Let's take a look here at the body work. There's a left hook after the right hand to the body. Let's see if there's a.
That's it. They saw enough. Stopped it in the corner. You were off by 1 round on the live.
Yeah, I was.
You said a little play on the 4th or 5th winds up being 6th.
Yeah, I was off by 1.
I mean, but a good play, right? And good thoughts.
No, it was. There was a reason why I said it, a reason why I saw it. And it gave you a chance. It gave you a chance. Listen,
I think that one right hand in the 4th round took away. Otherwise, he gets it a round earlier. That made him go to box a little bit more in the start of the 4th and then get back into this rhythm.
You're 100% right. Listen, I'm going to tell you why Ennis gets hit when he does get. One, he'll fight with you, he'll take chances. And we like that. By the way, he did what he had to do tonight. He got rid of this guy. He showed he wasn't in his class. He got rid of him. He did it the way the fans want. He did it the way his promoter wants. He did it the way he needed to do it if he wants to be that guy.
Yeah.
And he did what he had to do. Give him credit.
Yep.
Give him credit. Now, I'm going to tell you why he made Eddie Hearns happy, because he got the knockout. It wasn't enough to get a win tonight. He had to win this way, and he did. I'm going to tell you why he gets hit. He gets hit because he will fight with you. He will take chances, and we like that. We applaud that. But he also gets hit because sometimes he'll get hit in the middle of his punches. In other words, he'll stay there for 1 split second too long. He's got to learn to, there's a time to throw 1, there's a time to throw 5, there's a time to throw 2, and there's a time to throw none. There's a time to throw none, where the guy's looking to time you, you don't throw. You feint, you make a miss, and then you throw. He's just gotta, his father does a great job. He's just gotta learn that one thing, that he doesn't get caught as he's punching, that he doesn't throw that one punch too long from a little too close, where he stays there a little too long. He's gotta learn to get the feel. Yeah, the feel. The feel for, what do I have time here? I have time for 1, 2, 3, or none. I gotta just throw one, make a move, make a miss. Then I can throw the 2 or 3. That he doesn't get caught as he punches. That's the one thing that he's got to get in the gym, and he probably will. But he's gonna have to get that down. Sometimes I used to tell fighters the best punch you can throw is the one you don't throw. Because you throw that punch at the wrong distance. Sometimes you throw that jab from a little too close, he gets time with the right hand. Those are the things that he's got to kind of merge into everything else that he does, because he does so many things good. He's a complete fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. He just showed that again. Stanionis was not in his league. Gutsy kid, game kid. But what do the fans like to say? There's different levels for this stuff.
Yeah. Talking about the fans, assuming that Ennis stays here at 147 pounds, doesn't decide to move up to 154, and he were to fight Brian Norman Jr., what do you think of that matchup? We just watched Norman a couple weeks ago, and he stood out, only 24 years old. He's got a belt at 147 pounds. What do you think of that?
I'd pay to watch it.
Right? That'd be a good fight.
I could tell you what ain't happening. That fight ain't happening.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because of what I just said, because I'd pay to watch it. That fight ain't happening. Ennis's people are not dumb. Eddie Hearn is not dumb. He's far from it. He's one of the smartest guys in the business. They work their backside off to get to this position. They ain't taking a fight that's that possibly dangerous where it's for low money. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for it.
Right.
I like that guy, though. He's a good fighter, good looking prospect.
Yeah. And tonight you nailed it, this fight. I mean, I said earlier your tweet about, hey, this guy knows one way. He comes forward and Eunice is going to mug him on the way in. That's exactly what happened. But he was too limited, right? He was one-dimensional and took a pretty bad beating there in 6 rounds.
I hope the fans enjoyed it. I hope they came out, because we're only going to do this if they come out and they want it. But I hope they came out. I hope they watched with us. I hope they enjoyed it. It's still going to be up for a while, so if they want to watch it some other time, right, Bud, they can still watch it for the next days to come, right?
This will be on the YouTube channel all the time. So at any time, they could come and they could watch it. We are going to do another live stream April 26th, the big fight across the pond in the UK. That's going to be Eubank and Ben. That's April 26th. And then just getting ahead a little bit, but the big weekend, May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th. We have the Times Square card in May 2nd. We have Canelo in Saudi Arabia, May 3rd, and Inoue, May 4th. We're looking to come and do more live streams for all of those as well. So a lot more coming. Obviously, the podcast will be out where we'll review these fights, and that'll be airing on Monday. But I do think some of the fans are asking if we're going to switch over to the UFC.
Let's do it. What can we do it, Ben? My man. Let
me see if I could switch over with you and see where we're at with that.
Watching the uppercuts here that dropped Stanionis. I told you he'd be looking for that uppercut, right, Bud?
Yeah, you called that right away.
He tripled it up. He threw 3 in a row. 4 in a row. I'm sorry. I shorted him 1. He threw 4 straight uppercuts at the end. Hey, if it's there, stick to it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you land in the uppercut, keep throwing it until he does something to not let you land it anymore. And he was getting hit with the uppercut. He threw 4 in a row, and that's what ended the fight after hurting him to the body earlier.
We have a question, and I think you touched on it earlier with Boots. You were saying he sometimes can get caught throwing 3, 4, 5 punches and get caught in between. But our man Matt is asking, do you still what is Boots? What questions do you still have with Boots? Are there any others besides that? Where do you need to? What are your concerns? What do you want to see him improving?
Only one thing. He's terrific. Only one thing. Do it at the highest level. Get that dance partner.
Yeah, he needs a dance partner. He
Get
needs that
what
man.
Ali got with Frazier. Get what Ali got with Foreman. You know, get what all the great fighters need. That guy to bring their greatness out.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Someone.
mind seeing that 147 fight versus Norman, but the one I always wanted to see and thought we were going to get at 147 was Virgil Ortiz. I would love to see that at 154 pounds.
I'd still love to see it.
Yeah. So I just switched over and I put on the UFC, and I think we have a ways to go. This looks like this is the fight before the co-feature. So there's still two left. There'll be Pimblett. There's still three left. This one coming up, I think this is Patricio Pitbull, and then you'll have Pimblett and Chandler, followed by the main event, obviously Volkanovski and Diego Lopez after.
Yeah, we're getting it. My man Ben is on it. He's logging in. Okay, we got it on my. I got it right in front of me, bud. On Ben is the man. He's the master. He's the scientist. He is everything Bennett Garcia. And he's got it on the iPad right in front of me. So I don't even have to turn my head anymore. I could just look straight ahead. And I see that they're introducing its first round. Who do we got here, bud? I didn't see the names. I know that
Yeah,
they're
so
about to.
we got right now Yair Rodriguez is about to start against Patricio Pitbull
Oh yeah,
from the Bellator League.
yeah, yeah. I know he's famous from there. He's legendary from there.
Yeah, similar, I guess, to Michael Chandler, former Bellator guy who's become obviously very popular in the UFC and be fighting
Very
later
similar.
tonight.
Very similar. I think Pitbull had beat Chandler, right? In what do you call it? Ben is a big UFC man, and Ben just shook his head and said, "Yes,
Yeah, Ben is a big UFC. He knows his
you're."
UFC.
But yeah, Pitbull is legendary from Bellator. Bellator's like them. I hate to knock them. I'm not knocking them. I'm not. They got great fighters, but they're the minor leagues to the major leagues. And if you do good in the minor leagues and you're big in the minor leagues, the Yankees bring you up to the major leagues. You get up to the UFC, and right now Pitbull has been brought up to the Yankees, to the UFC, to the majors, and
Yeah,
we'll
they
see what we'll see what he's going to do now in the UFC and the majors with Rodriguez. Obviously, he's got a size disadvantage as far as reach and as far as length. With Rodriguez, we'll see how well Rodriguez striking right now, and he can switch to southpaw. Rodriguez is good at switching back and forth, lefty and righty. But we'll see now if Rodriguez knows how to fight tall, how to use his reach, and kind of do what we just talked about Ennis was doing, against Stanionis. Uh, make it hard for Pitbull to get close. And then when he tries to get close, force him to take chances and mug him on the way in. That would be the strategy that would play out here with the physical assets of both fighters. I mean, again, Rodriguez so long, so tall, where he could use the jab, he could control space, control range, try to get Pitbull to make a mistake, do some of his work for him. You know, get a little reckless, get a little over anxious, and walk Pitbull into a counter. Keep him at the end of his jab, make it hard for Pitbull to get close without taking chances and without paying a price.
Yeah, like you said, Pitbull's first fight in the UFC. There is no more Bellator. It's now PFL. But
Okay.
that some good fights in there there.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that out. And, one thing, when you go to the majors, which is the UFC, there's no free lunches. I mean, every fight is a tough fight. I don't care if the guy's got 10 losses, 8 losses, 6 losses, 15 losses. You're in a tough fight. These guys are all fire tested. I mean, these guys get brought up eating nails. I mean, there's no layups. You fight in the UFC, every fight is a competitive fight. There's a chance that the other guy can win either side for the most part because they're so well matched. And again, there's no soft touches in the UFC. You see people trying to get close. He didn't get the takedown. The takedown defense of Rodriguez was up to snuff. Rodriguez again showing you with his striking that he can switch lefty and righty, give you different looks, make it hard. I know in my business, in boxing, you fight a tall guy, you want to go to the body. There's a lot of body there. You want to take his ability away from him. Oh, he threw a kick there, Rodriguez, and Pitbull caught it. And now he's got the takedown. I don't know if that counts as a takedown, but he's got the position he wants. He's on top. And this is what I call floor chess. These guys are so good on a floor. You make one mistake and you're screwed. They position their legs, their arms. Every little move is for a reason. That's what I love about this with the grappling and with the jiu-jitsu downstairs. I know that's not my thing. My thing is punching, striking, but I appreciate it. And something there Rodriguez did not appreciate. I don't know what it was. We don't have the sound here with the great commentating that you get. And you do get great commentating from the UFC guys. Those guys know what they're talking about. But I saw that Rodriguez was not happy with something at the end there. Whatever it was on the floor. That he thought that Pitbull did something that was inappropriate against the rules, whatever. But that round I think was a pretty clear round for Rodriguez. I thought, but then again, Pitbull at the end got position on the floor, so who knows? Some good leg kicks by Rodriguez. There's the mistake by Rodriguez. He drew a kick, Pitbull caught it, and then he got the position. He didn't do a lot with the position, though, Bud. He got the position, Pitbull, but I don't know if it was enough to win the round because he didn't do a lot. He didn't do much damage. So I don't know what the commentators have. I don't know what they got it at because, again, we don't have the sound. But so I don't know if they got 1-0 for Rodriguez. I would favor that, but not sure. Rodriguez doing a little showboating, doing a little boxing showboat like Mayweather used to do. A punch misses, a kick misses, and he's looking off to the audience like, where'd it go? Doing a little showing off. You don't see too much of that in here. A little bit. You got the guys that get into the Patty Pimblett hippie tonight. Looking forward to that one. That should be a terrific one.
Yeah, there should be some real good ones. Oh, just opening up now a little bit. It seemed like Pitbull was a little too tentative in that first round.
Yeah, I thought he probably Rodriguez got, but Pitbull warming up this round. And the way he's a shorter guy. He's got to get his range. He's got to get his distance to be able to strike. But he's also got to make sure what he doesn't do. What he doesn't do is he doesn't want to get over anxious. He doesn't want to make mistakes. He don't want to do the other guy's work for him by reaching in, walking into something, making it easy for Rodriguez to pot shot him on the outside, which he's looking to do right now. So I give credit to Pitbull. He's taking short steps. He's being cautiously aggressive, slowly walking him down, taking little steps, not reaching in, not getting out of position, stepping out of range, making the kicks miss, controlling range. Pitbull's doing a nice job controlling range here. It's really beautiful. He stepped out to make a miss. Now he's stepping in without getting ahead of himself, just trying to get into the right position. And he gets a nice takedown by doing it. Nice job with the legs of Pitbull, taking those steps out and then in. Really nice job with Pitbull. Really nice.
Beautiful. Good job by Rodriguez to back up to the cage to help himself up there, though.
Yeah, he did. He did a great job. But I like the leg work of Pitbull. A lot of people, they only notice leg work if it's Muhammad Ali moving around. But just little in and out here. And again, Pitbull he got caught going back there with the longer reach of Rodriguez. Good job by Rodriguez. I was just going to say, Rodriguez needs to start using that reach.
Yeah, no question. One of the fans had a good comment right as you said that, Alfred. He said that he's not taking advantage of his length.
No, he's not at all. I mean, he's got those long freaking arms. That's why some guys don't know how to fight tall. But you got those long arms. Punch at that distance where you can hit the other guy and he can't hit you. It doesn't get more basic than that. Or more simple than that. Again, I like the way Pitbull, he's being cautiously aggressive, working his way in behind the jab through a right hand there. I don't know if it landed clean or not. But he's not getting ahead of himself. He's not getting careless. He's slowly trying to close the gap without leaving himself open. And that's what he's got to do. Slowly close the gap. And I think Pitbull should do it with the jab, too. He's trying to close that gap, Pitbull. And he's looking to get into the geography where he can time Rodriguez. Maybe as Rodriguez punches or maybe as Rodriguez pulls out. Rodriguez now is using his legs and his length a little bit.
Yeah, I think he heard us. Yeah, much better.
Yeah, he's punching at an outside distance before Pitbull obviously can get close. Pitbull's looking for the takedown here. Good takedown defense by Rodriguez.
Yeah, very good.
Looks the way he puts his left hand inside the leg of Pitbull. Just little things like that. I know that these great commentators explain it a lot better than I do, because this ain't my bag, as they would say. Just the striking is, but
those foot stomps cannot feel good.
No, looks like Rodriguez got the takedown.
Oh, nice little takedown by Rodriguez on the trip.
Yeah, that might be enough to steal the round. I thought he had the round probably anyway, but that definitely probably cements the round.
Yeah, that could have sealed it.
For me, it's 2-0. This is a 3-rounder, I assume. So this is at the point now, obviously, where Pitbull, the shorter man who's been trying very hard not to get reckless and not to reach in and not to get careless, he might have to get reckless. I mean, I don't want him to get reckless, but he might have to not be as careful.
Can I ask a silly question? I'm watching him sitting there and breathing in the corner.
Hand. There was a nice right hand by Pitbull. See what he did there? He does a nice takedown by Pitbull. Some good work there. But there he got caught going back. But before that, he let Rodriguez give up his height, throw at him, and then he timed Rodriguez with the right hand. Go ahead, but I'm sorry. I wanted to make a point of that.
No, you're fine. That was a perfect timing with the replay there. No, what I was gonna say, I'm watching Rodriguez sitting there in the corner, and in boxing, the trainer will put his hand and pull away the draws, right? So he could breathe better, right? They don't need to do that in the UFC because they don't wear the same cups as boxers. Why is that?
Yeah, because they want to be, they're kicking. They're
More the
restricted with the.
reason to be protected down there,
Oh,
no?
I know, but it would restrict their kicks a little bit, their flexibility, their range on the kicks. The cups that you're describing, you're right. With the fighters, it's leather. It's a big leather protection all the way around the waist, underneath. It's not just the groin area. It goes all the way around, covering the whole front section uh, of the lower part of the body. And when you try to kick with that, it can be difficult. It could be restrictive. So I'm sure that's the reason why they use just a regular, one cup,
Right.
single cup, rather than the whole piece that a professional boxer would use,
Yeah, it
as
makes
far as
sense.
the leather encasing of the of everything, uh, protecting the sides. You see what I thought you might see. You see Pitbull taking chances, selling out, and it's working for him a little
Oh,
bit.
nice right hand.
Yeah,
Oh,
just missed
I'm
him with
at
that
3 minutes
kick.
and 30 seconds right now.
Yeah, I'm at 327,
Okay.
so I'm ahead of you. Yeah, you see Pitbull now. Again, he's a little bit, at least in his mind, I think he's in a little bit of desperation mode, figuring he needs a big round, a knockdown, something, um, to pull this off. Nice leg kick there. I thought it was. Unless it wound up venturing low. You see Rodriguez, boy, those are nasty kicks to the knees. God, these guys are tough. You see Pitbull, he's just trying to get his range. Oh, he timed. Boy, oh boy,
Oh,
he got nailed there.
oh,
Yeah, he got nailed.
was that a left hook?
Oh no, but he got nailed. I mean, Rodriguez had thrown a flying knee, had tried to throw a flying knee, and Pitbull tried to time him and got into range where he got timed. Boy, you got the ground and pounding going on here. Whoa, my God, with these elbows. Trying to get separation now where you can get Pitbull. Right now, Pitbull's in survival mode. Oh, oh,
Oh,
jeez.
oh,
Wow, it's getting close to the referee getting in there. Man, Pitbull is tough, as they all are, doing everything he can. Give credit, though, to Rodriguez being able to keep his hands free enough to continue that deluge of elbows. Oh my goodness! Don't wow! Look at this. He tried. Rodriguez Pitbull tried to get him with the legs into a scissor, but Rodriguez too smart for that. A minute's 5 left on my score time, my time here, bud.
yeah, I'm at a
So,
minute right now on the dot.
so I mean, now they got the leg locks going on, right, Ben? Ben's the man here. He's the master. He's the expert.
I
Oh
feel
man,
I feel better. Is Ben able to watch the fight right now as well?
yeah. He's a selfless guy. He took care of me first,
Yeah, I
but
know that.
now he's got it. He's watching it on his phone. Wow, look at this. He got up. Give Pitbull credit. He survived that. That was not easy. He went through hell there. But these guys live in hell. They have
Not
breakfast.
as explosive or twitchy as Chandler, but definitely some similarities there besides the Bellator background.
Oof. Just missed that kick. That spinning back kick. Wow.
Good
Welcome.
action.
Welcome to the UFC. There ain't no, you ain't getting, Dana White is the equivalent of what do they call him? The Groots, the guy that stole Christmas.
The Grinch.
He's the equivalent of the Grinch. I mean, you're looking for some in your stocking, you're getting coal, baby. I mean, like, well, you get invited to, and I don't mean like and pay anything like that. I'm just talking about you come into the UFC, you're looking for your first one to be a soft one. You're looking for, a gift. You're looking for a welcome to the family present. You're not getting it. You're getting a freaking animal because that's all they get. They all get the same thing. Nothing but tough fights, every one of them, and no different here. Again, you're the new guy coming in. You think maybe you're going to be getting a welcome to the club gift. No, you're going to get an elbow, a kick, a knee, but you're going to get a fighter that you better be ready for, because every fight in the UFC, everybody is a monster.
Yeah, there are no easy fights, that's for sure. No tune-ups. They're all the real deal. So that'll bring us to Paddy Pimblett and Michael Chandler will be next.
I did an interview with Chandler last week. It was on ESPN. I think a lot of people probably saw it. It was an interesting interview. He's a smart guy. He was straightforward, like he fights. I presented him with the only question I could present him. Does it mean more to Michael Chandler to win a fight or to make the audience happy with giving them wars, giving them, excitement? What's more important to Michael Chandler? That you
Yeah, it was
win
a great question.
or that you make the
And it was an
people happy?
interesting answer.
Yeah. And he is definitely cognizant of that, it's important to him to make exciting fights. And sometimes I even brought the other question to him. I piggybacked off that. I said, hey, sometimes you're like kamikaze style. Like you got to fight, you can win. It looks like you can win. Obviously, you're as talented as anybody. You're explosive. You're a talented son of a gun. And you got to fight that it looks like you can win. And then all of a sudden you go into this mode of sort of kamikaze, and you kind of, what's that old saying? You pull defeat, you pull victory from the jaws, of defeat. I mean, what is the saying? I want to get that right. Where, instead of pulling victory from the jaws of defeat, you give yourself defeat from the jaws of victory. You wind up doing something wrong at the wrong time. Like it looks like you got a fight where it's going your way. You have the advantage because he's talented enough to be in there and have a shot with just about anybody. He's that talented. And all of a sudden, you'll do something that takes what looks like a victory and you turn it into a defeat. Like, what is going on? It's on the mental level. I always say 75% of my business is mental. I presented that. I posed that question to him. He not only agreed with me, he said, Teddy, for me, it might be 85% or somewhere in that area. So very honest, very straightforward, just like he fights. You see what you see is what you get, but very intelligent. I think this is the kind of fight with Pimblett, who they're making one of the stars. There's always a new star coming up with anything, and in the UFC, no different. You got the guys that are becoming stars that are being projected to be star. Pimblett's been that for a little while. He's terrific. He's been on our podcast, and also a guy who knows how to promote himself. The whole thing. It's this with the experience of Chandler and the level of competition that he's been in there with. This is a step up for me of Pimblett. That's a very dangerous look. All the fights are dangerous in the UFC. We've already made that pretty clear. But this is a fight that's really dangerous for Pimblett. This is a fight where you could almost make the argument that Chandler's supposed to win it, that he's the more experienced guy. He's been in there with the tougher competition. You're looking at right now, they're showing you basically the cabinet of Trump.
They're all in attendance there in Miami.
Yeah, they're
Marco
all down
Rubio down his home state, Florida.
Yeah, they're showing you all the guys that are the top guys in the administration of our government right now. But getting back to that, I just think this is the kind of fight, if he's going to pull off the win that we've been waiting for him ever since he came to the UFC, he's been given nothing but tough fights. Nothing but tough fights. And he's lost more than he's won. But he's always in them. He's always in them. And you always walk away thinking, gee, if he just didn't do that, he would have won a fight, or he could have won a fight. To me, that's the question tonight. Will he finally get over that hump of not doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, of doing what we expect him that he's capable of doing, using his experience, using his talent, and using it to beat a very talented guy who, again, is being built up as one of the next stars, but a guy who has not been in with the level that Chandler's been in with. To me, this is the fight he's got to win. Chandler's getting older now. What's he, 38? He's getting up there. I mean, this is the one that is really set for him to win. But it's also the kind of fight that if things go true to course the way they've been in the past to what he's done, he could find a way to screw it up. You know, where he could be positioned to win it, because Pimblett, I mean, he'll strike with you. He's got his head up in the air. You can time him. You can strike with him. You can time him. He's dangerous, but you can catch him. You can catch him standing tall. Again, the old timers would say, but in my business, he keeps his chin up in the air like a lantern in a storm. And you can catch him. I mean, he's good on the ground. He's good on the floor. So is Chandler. I mean, it's Chandler's a well-rounded guy. It's an interesting fight. It's an interesting as hell. I mean, really, you got two great fights here. This in the main event, and this is a hell of a fight to really to lead into the main event. For all the reasons I just said, this might be Chandler's last chance to do what he wanted to do when he came to the UFC. Become that guy. Become that guy. And this is the perfect guy to do it with. Again, a guy that's getting all the attention, guy who, of course, is talented like they all are, but doesn't have the experience you have and has vulnerabilities that play into your strengths.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. That was a beautiful setup for this fight. And I'm curious to see, is Patty that next level? And it's fitting that we just switched over from Atlantic City, New Jersey, the former home of Arturo Gatti, with all those great fights we talked about. And Michael Chandler, as you have said it, he's the Arturo Gatti of the UFC. So I can't wait. Anytime he fights, it's exciting. And as Pimblett said, he said he's a scouser. Scousers don't get knocked out. Well, we're gonna find out tonight.
Yeah. Patty the Batty.
Yeah, they could make a lot of money with Patty if he wins tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna I think it's gonna wind up being that they're gonna strike. A lot of times it comes down to temperaments. We talk about temperaments, personalities, the mental side. Sometimes in these fights in the UFC, but I see it all the time where one guy's got an advantage if he goes to the mat. Ben knows what I'm talking about, where he's got the advantage grappling, he's got the advantage on the floor, but yet he won't go on the floor. He'll strike with the guy. Like it's his pride, it's his ego. He wants to win that way. It's an exciting way. He wants to be that guy. He wants to make the money, or he wants to prove something, whatever it is. But I think that's this fight where the spots where one guy would have the edge on the grappling on the floor. And but I don't see it going to go that way. I think you're going to wind up seeing both guys looking to strike for the most part. And again, the talent has never been the shortcoming of Chandler. It's been the choices sometimes. The choices that when he should do one thing, he does the wrong thing. He he finds a way to kind of get in his own way, if you will. And he's very explosive. I mean, really explosive with his legs, with his punches on the floor, everywhere. He's an explosive son of a gun. And Pimblett is too. You know, he can be explosive again on the mat with the grappling, with the striking on standing. But the level of opposition that Chandler has been in there with is just much higher than what Pimblett has been in yet in so far in his career. And I do think that this is the night. If it's ever going to happen for Chandler, it needs to be tonight.
It has
And
to
if,
be. Like you said, 38 years old. It's now or never.
and if Pimblett's going to be that star, tonight's going to be his night.
No question. Pimblett definitely hasn't fought the experienced guys, like you said, that Chandler has, but he's stepped up and fought more experienced guys the last few fights. Obviously, Tony Ferguson was on a slide, and then King Green, Bobby Green.
Yeah. Veteran guy. Gotta love Bobby Green. My God, how many fights he's got? How tough he's been in with everybody.
They're gonna walking out to the ring now
You know what
for
Chandler
the
reminds me a
octagon.
little bit about, not style wise, but from the mental landscape that I touched on, that he'll make mistakes that cost him the fight when he's got the talent to win it. You know who I'm going to say in boxing. And he was a great fighter. Oscar De La Hoya.
Ah,
Every time De La Hoya fought one of the biggest fights of his career, the biggest ones, whoever they were. I mean, he was a great fighter, Olympic gold medalist, world champion, different weight classes, the whole thing. But when he fought that fight, whether it was Mosley, whether it was Mayweather, whatever it was.
Pacquiao, Hopkins.
Yeah, Pacquiao. Hopkins was too big for him. But when he fought those fights, Trinidad,
Felix Trinidad.
every time he snatched he snatched victory from the draws. What's that saying? That great saying. He snatched victory from the draws of defeat. That's
Yeah.
what he did. Yeah, he snatched victory. Usually you want to snatch defeat from the victory from the draws of defeat. You want to snatch whatever the hell I'm trying to say.
You said it right. You're
Screwed
confusing
it
the
up.
heck out of me now.
Yeah, I'm
You
confusing
want to
myself.
snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, that's what he would do. And he would do the opposite. He would find a way to blow it. He would find a way when he had the fight, when he was poised and positioned to win the fight. De La Hoya would find a way of doing something wrong, whether it was moving and running around the last 3 rounds with Trinidad when he thought he was well ahead, whatever it was, whether it was going on the inside with Mayweather, a great counterpuncher who had faster hands, and getting counted on the inside when he was winning the rounds, when he used his jab and his length on the outside and didn't give Mayweather anything to counter. He always found a way to do what he shouldn't have done at the wrong time. So we'll see tonight if that comes to play with Chandler, or if Chandler just gets it right tonight and does the things that he's always capable of doing. So either way, it's going to be very interesting. There's Paddy the Baddy doing what, well, we're getting part of what gets him paid. You know, getting the audience behind him, getting the following, doing his thing, doing his Paddy the Baddy thing, doing the promotional. You got to have both sides to you. You got to have those dimensions. You want to make money? Well, you've got to be good. You got to be dedicated, talented, buttoned up in all those areas of being a package. But you also better have the it factor. You got to play to the audience. You got to be a promoter. Nobody was better. Nobody was better than McGregor in this business. I mean, Conor McGregor, he was a great fighter at his period too. In that part of his career, that area in his career, man, he was good. He was a great counterpuncher, good puncher, great. I mean, very explosive. He was tremendous, Conor McGregor, but he was also a great promoter, a great promoter. I mean, that's what Paddy's trying to be. He's trying to be a combination of the fighter and the promoter, so he, as we say, he could get paid. You think about the great fighters in my business that were able to mix the two. Of course, you start with Ali, and then you go more recently with Tyson Fury. You know, tremendous promoter, tremendous fighter, tremendous promoter too. Chandler's promotion, he leaves it up to his aggression, his seriousness, his explosiveness, his talent. And tonight he hopes that it all comes together in a way that a lot of people will say it hasn't yet. He's shown glimpses of it with some of his wins and even some of his losses where he came so close. Tonight, people want to see, is this the night that he puts it all together with the guy that it seems like he's positioned to do it with? A guy where he does have possibly the right guy to really make that final jump. I think he feels that way mentally, confident-wise. I think that he's obviously at 38 years of age. He's matured as much as he's going to be. If it's going to be, it's going to be tonight.
Well, he's got another animal right there with him in his corner, the great Robbie Lawler.
Yeah,
Talking about
you're not
fun to
kidding.
watch. That guy was unbelievable. But
Yeah.
I think I want to see a different side of Chandler tonight, and I think that's going to be key if he's going to win. I think he has to show a little finesse, for lack of another word. It has to be something besides just the fastball, not just power. Every fight, it seems like there's no finesse, there's no changeup. It's just one dimensional, and it's twitch, and it's explosive, and it's power. But then that leads to sometimes making a mistake. I think he's going to have to mix it up a little bit.
No, I agree with you, but that's the point I'm trying to make. That he's always got the talent. He's got the explosiveness. He has the ability. He's got all of those things. Always. There's no question. He doesn't always make the right choice. He's got to make the right choices tonight of kind of like the Kenny Rogers song. You know, I love to use movie analogies, song analogies. The Kenny Rogers, you know, the gambler. You got to know when to show him, when to
When
hold
to
him,
hold them, when to fold them,
when to,
when to
you
walk
know,
away.
when to walk away, when to run. You know, you gotta, you just, you gotta know when it's time to be aggressive, when it's time not to be aggressive. But there's been times with him where when he should not have been aggressive, and it's to your point, Bud, about the finesse. That's what you're getting at. But to me, it's about the right choices. It's about thinking. It's about being in control of yourself. It's about the mental side of it, where when he was supposed to not be aggressive, he was aggressive. When he was supposed to be aggressive, then he wasn't pressing right there. He was doing something else. Tonight, he's got to make the choices on point. He can't make the wrong choice. He's always shown the ability to have everything. Now he's got to show the brains, the control, the experience, whatever you want to call it, the mental side of it, to make the right choices at the right time, not to screw it up with a wrong choice when it looks like he's going the right way. When I had my interview with him, it seemed like he was very aware of that, very aware of the point that he's at in his life, in his career. And of all the things we've just been talking about the last 15 minutes, that he was very, very in tune with it. We're going to find out. Again, I find this just
Yeah,
a
I'm excited.
really interesting fight. A really interesting fight.
He reminds me his body looking at him like Tim Bradley. My goodness, he is shredded. This guy's got to be like 3% body fat.
Yeah. He's strong. He's a tank.
He is a tank.
He is explosive.
Well, here we go. Almost time.
Pimblett's got that serious look now. You know, he was doing this stuff for the crowd. That's gone. That's gone. Now he knows what he's got in front of him, what he's got to do. He knows he's longer, he's taller. As far as the striking goes, what's that mean? Control the outside, use your jab, try to make the guy pay if he's going to close ground on you, make him pay to get in, use your jab to keep him out. And what do you want to do if you're Chandler? You want to close the gap, but you want to do it smart. You don't want to get caught on the way in. And maybe if I'm Chandler, as far as the striking goes, I know the guy's got the advantage. He's tall. I want to turn it into a disadvantage. I want to make the tall guy go straight back tall in front of me where I could step with him and catch him a left hook going back or a right hand going back. That's what I'm looking to do.
Looks like that's what he is trying to maybe do right now.
See? That's what he's trying to do.
Yep.
Be
There it is.
Get
Yep.
caught.
With the 4-minute mark here.
Yeah, those leg kicks are so devastating. You know, in my business, we talk about going to the body to take the guy's legs away. These guys just kicked to the legs to take them away. They went for the takedown, Chandler. Wow.
Oh.
Chandler's being smart tonight. He's got the edge on
Yeah.
the mat, and usually you don't use those edges. He'll go and strike all night. But no. So far tonight, he's saying, no, I'm not going to do that.
Well, you
I'm
want to
not
put
gonna...
doubts in the more experienced guy early, but you also want to test that tank a little bit, right? This is a 5-round fight scheduled for 5. Pimblett's never been in a 5-rounder before.
That's a good point. But I think it's something else, too. I think it's what you just said, but I think it's something else, too. I think it's just this guy now trying to do what he should do, not what he feels like doing. Not letting his emotions dictate, let his brain dictate. And his brain dictates, I got an edge with this kid on the mat. I got an edge with him now physically where I could be strong with the takedown and stuff. So why should I only strike? but he's not getting anything done really right now. That's where you got to give Pimblett credit. Pimblett's back. Oh, Chandler's looking to get the takedown again. But look at Pimblett. Oh, I guess is that a takedown? I guess that is, right? Is that officially a takedown? We don't have to sound on with the tremendous commentators, the guys that know this sport inside and out, and they are the best. Was that a takedown there, Ben?
You know what? Well, you got your expert over there, Ben.
No, he said he thinks it is.
No, I'd
But I
like to
mean,
know if why is this a 5 round fight? It's not the main event. It's not a title fight.
that was a takedown, by the way. Now they do that sometimes, but in the UFC, when it's a big fight like this,
Yeah,
I make
I
them
guess I'm more asking what's the rhyme or reason? How do they
right
just
now,
decide that?
right now, Chandler's doing what he got to do.
Yeah, he is.
He's got 2 takedowns this round. He's doing what he's got to do. He's got the edge there, and he's going to the edge. He's going to where he's got the advantage. He has not always done that. Now, look, it's far from over, but he has not always done that. It's the kind of fight. If Pimblett's going to be the guy, he's going to have to do it the way that those guys have to do it, maybe from behind, showing that he's the guy, showing that, he is. He just got nailed with a right hand there, Pimblett.
He's never corrected that. You told Patty Pimblett years ago on the podcast when he came on and you interviewed him. You told him put your wallet underneath your chin because he has a bad habit of keeping it straight up. And you don't want to drop your wallet on the ground. Well, he would be going broke if he was training with you. He's still got that chin straight up in the air.
Yeah, you're right. I told him in the gym I would make him shadow box with the wallet under his chin. Every time he dropped it, I'd take something out of that wallet. Well, he's trying to be smart here, Pimblett.
He is.
Control things on the outside with his length, pick spots. Chandler looks a little gassed
He
from those
does.
takedowns.
Yeah, he does. And
Looks a
and again,
little,
this is a five round fight, not a 3 round.
yeah. Chandler used a lot of. He's 38 years old, and he used a lot of petrol with those takedowns. And right now, Patty's coming on.
Yeah. Good knee.
Good close for the round for Pimblett, but I still think it was Chandler's round. Do you agree, Ben? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I would score that round for Chandler. Got the takedowns, controlled some ground time.
You got to feel good if you're in Pimblett's corner, though, because he survived those takedowns. He's in there with the veteran. He survived them, and then he finished the round well, and he finished the round fresher than the 38-year-old veteran did. So you got to feel good if you're in Pimblett's corner, going forward.
Yeah.
I think Pimblett's going to have to pick up where he left off, striking on the outside, controlling the outside, using his jab. Obviously, he wants to mix in some leg kicks. There's a nice leg kick right there, talking about leg kicks on the replay. There's the takedown. That was timed nicely. That was timed really nicely. He moved in just perfect timing. Good right hand. Pimblett with his chin up in the air. He reached in a little bit. And what did Chandler, the shorter man, do? He took advantage of the longer man not knowing how to fight long. Reaching in a little bit, giving up his height a little bit. And the shorter man, Chandler, landed the clean punch, the right hand, as Pimblett reached in with his left, leaving the window open. Nice round by Chandler. Good finish to the round by Pimblett. We're going to see what Chandler looks rejuvenated, refueled a little bit. Well, Chandler's looking to get close now. Looking like he's got it on his head to get close to strike or close to get a takedown. But Pimblett looks like he's got it in his head to do what they trained to do. Use that length. Punch on the outside. Let his hands go on the outside where he's got an advantage. Try to catch Chandler as he comes. That's what I'd be doing if I'm Pimblett. I'd be controlling that outside, set the punch, taking little steps back, using my jab, and then when Chandler comes in, do that. Let the right hand go. Try to nail him coming in.
Yeah, good first minute start for Patty. He is controlling that distance pretty good right now.
Looks like on some of the comments there that some people had Pimblett winning the first round and some people had Chandler winning the first round. I gave it to Chandler. Close round, though.
Yeah, it was.
This round is Pimblett. He's doing a good
far.
job controlling range, using
Yep.
those long arms. Oh, low blow, low kick. Wow. That'll give him a little rest. Oh, yeah, right from underneath, too. Tough. Oh, that hurts. I feel it. Man. Pimblett's ready to go. Pimblett's saying, come on now. Let's not have none of that. Pimblett's showing that he's more than just, that pretty boy star that they're building up. He's showing that he's more than just a guy that also has talent. He's showing that he can rise to the occasion. He can be that guy. He's fighting that way. He looked for the uppercut as Chandler came in. Is that
the right punch. I was just gonna say Chandler better be careful just walking straight in like that.
Chandler just got another takedown, right?
Yep.
Man,
That was nice.
nice takedown. He's being smart, Chandler. He's going to his strengths. Pimblett's being smart too on the outside with the striking. It's a good fight. Good fight. Great fight.
Oh,
There goes
get
another
your head out of
takedown.
there.
Right? 2 takedowns this round for Chandler?
That's
Maybe.
2.
I'm not sure. I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, Chandler thought he
He's
had
going for it.
he thought he
Nope.
had the position there, but
Big mistake.
big mistake. Pimblett got
Yeah.
out of it. Now Pimblett's got the position on top.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he can't make that kind of mistake and fall out of position like that
That's
and
what he
give
does.
up.
He makes mistakes.
Yeah.
That's been his Achilles so far. Is he'll make a mistake. This is a good
Yeah.
round though. Tough round. Now Pimblett's got position. Pimblett's showing me something. He's showing me that he's that guy. He's more than just a pretty boy. He's more than just what they all are. They got talent, they're tough. But that he can rise to the occasion. He can get it done. He can make adjustments. He can do what he's got to do with the top echelon of fighters. This is a step up for him. And he's showing that he can get it done at this level. And it ain't easy. He's trying to take those legs away with elbows to the legs of Chandler. Well, he's got
It was a
position.
nice little attempt to add a little twitch there, but Pimblett's got his legs wrapped around him. He's in a bad spot.
Yeah, Pimblett's in a good spot. You're right.
Not a lot of guys much stronger, right? Pimblett
Look at
looks
this.
much stronger.
Wow, Pimblett's dominating this round.
Yeah, some good
Does
ground
he
and
have it?
pound.
Does he have it clean?
No.
Wow, this is a dominant round for Pimblett, the younger guy who you think is going to get only stronger as the rounds go on. Wow, this is a bad round for Chandler. Looked like he was doing good early. Pimblett rose to the occasion.
That
With
mistake.
people.
He had
Yeah.
position, got a little over aggressive. He got over the top and
Again, like it's been his past, right?
oof.
Right? It's been his past. It's been the Achilles heel of him.
Oh man, he just took some vicious shots that round. But yeah, you said it earlier before the fight. That has been his Achilles heel, avoiding that mistake. He's got 3 more rounds, but that was a big mistake.
I like the way Pimblett's reacting and just handling this fight, handling what's going on, from the mental standpoint, that he's just, you could see it. He knows what he had in front of him. He knows the occasion. He's rising to it. He's rising to it, technically, physically, mentally. He's like, you know what? I know what I am. I know what this is. I know what it represents. I know now more than just a good promoter and a guy who's obviously got talent, but I'm a guy who belongs at this level. And he's finding that out. He's growing as the fight goes on. He's growing. This is the kind of fight where a guy like him will grow in front of your eyes.
You just took the words out of my mouth.
As he learns that he belongs. Because going in here, he wasn't sure. He hoped he did, but he wasn't sure he did. And now he's finding out, I belong. I'm going to use the analogy I used to use when I did all the fights on ESPN. Excuse me. Like when you guys were little, with the grandkids now, what do? I buy them those little figurines, those little sponge figures, those little sponge things. And you put them in the bath, and all of a sudden they blow up. They become big.
Yeah, he's growing.
He's growing.
Yeah,
he's
you
growing.
could feel it.
And he's showing his athleticism, his explosiveness. He's showing his diversity too. That he's good with his kicks, he's good with striking, he's good on the floor, he's well-rounded. Look at it, he's picking the right punch with the uppercut. I would look for the uppercut.
And he's staying composed. He's not getting reckless. He's fighting discipline. He's fighting a beautiful fight.
Yeah, he's mixing it up. He's mixing it up well, doing a little bit of everything. Explosive on the outside, using his range, his kicks, again, his youth, his athleticism, and now
he's going to go for it here.
Dominating on the floor here.
Chandler busted up. Still talking to somebody there, ringside. Oh, his coach, Robbie Lawler.
And this is where youth is being served too.
Yes. And to that point I was saying earlier, Pimblett looks so much stronger. Obviously, he's having his way here. But he looks healthier too, and maybe easier said when the guy's in control. I know he's had some big weight cut problems in the past, gets too heavy in between fights. Maybe he did a better job with that, but just his skin color, everything, he looks strong tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he has made changes. I think I heard somewhere where he has made changes, dietary and people around him and different people that he's brought into camp. I think he has made. And plus, just knowing the moment, knowing what was in front of him. But he has risen to the occasion, and he has grown in this fight right in front of us. Right in front of us. Oh, he's got it.
You said it perfectly right before the start of the round. You said that with that analogy of the kid sponge, and man, he came out and showed it.
Yeah, he's shown me that he's a pretty complete fighter too. I mean, all the dimensions, he's got them all covered. Did he get it clean there? Nope, he don't have it. Nope.
And Chandler is leaking.
Oh, does he have it clean here? Nope. Jeez.
Man, Michael Chandler, what a tough son of a gun.
Yeah, all these guys are tough, but he's tough. He's tough. The ref's going to stop this.
At a certain point, I was just going to say, this is a lot of headshots. The corner might need to throw the towel. Come on.
I think the ref's going to stop it.
I think that's enough. That's enough. Yeah. And the towel came in a little late, just as he stopped it.
No, you on button.
He didn't need to take that at the end. This guy's taken enough in his career, but my goodness, what a performance by Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, he did what we talked about Ennis, in the boxing match. Ennis needed to have that performance tonight. Paddy needed to have this performance tonight if he's going to be more than just the next pretty boy, more than a next, guy with a good promotional tinge to him and a good way and a good following. If he was going to be more than just that, if he was going to connect it all together, like Conor McGregor connected it all together with talent and promotional abilities, you know, that's what he did tonight. He connected it all together. You know, we knew he was a good promoter. We knew that he was going to be the next thing or trying to be the next thing. He had a great following. He's a fun guy. He's smart. He's witty. But tonight, he showed that he's also that fighter that can come from behind in the first
Ooh,
round, which he
and
did.
knee.
He can do a lot of things, a lot of things. He showed the ability, really, to fight at a high level in so many different areas. He displayed it all tonight.
You're right, on the ground and on the feet.
Talking about Chandler being explosive. Pembler was explosive. Wow. And athletic. Everything.
And Patty's got the mouthpiece. This should be an interesting interview.
Yeah, it will be. Now, especially after pulling it off. He earned the right now to run the gums.
Yeah, our man Matt just chimed in. He said a star may have been born tonight in the UFC.
I agree.
Sure looks like it.
I agree. He went out there tonight and performed like a star. He performed like that guy that everyone wanted him to be. That Dana White wants him to be.
No, you said it right in time that the game is the mental side of it. You always talk about, right? At least 75% mental. You could just see, like you said, the confidence in the way he was growing, and that was evident the way he started the third round.
Yeah, he dominated. After I thought he lost the first round.
First round was close, yeah. Yeah, could have won either way, maybe.
There goes Joe Rogan, another guy who's great at what he does. All these
Oh
guys,
yeah.
that's one thing about the UFC, DC, every one of them, you know, they know what they're talking about. Chael Sonnen, Mike Bisping, of course Rogan, John Anik, uh, every single
Yeah. Dominic
and
Cruz,
Dominic
Chael,
Cruz, Anthony
Anthony
Smith.
Smith. Yeah.
Dominic Cruz is so smart.
DC.
He is so smart. DC, all of them.
Gilbert Melendez. They got
Gilbert
some good ones.
Melendez. Yeah, they
Got
do.
some real good ones.
No, they do. Paul Felder, he's another one.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, they're stacked. They are stacked.
Megan,
Olivier.
yeah, she's tremendous. They all are.
Yeah, she does a good job.
They all do a good job. They really do. Our man, Charlie Monahan, he
The
directs.
best.
He does a tremendous job. His whole crew, they all do a. Glenn, he's one of the guys that
He
is
just
in
called out
charge.
Gaethje. Sitting in the crowd there, Justin Gaethje. Man, that would be a hell of a fight.
That'd be a explosion waiting to happen.
Calling out Charles Oliveira, who another great fighter, former champion, who just beat Chandler in the last match.
Yeah, Oliveira is something else.
I think he's taking the
Oliveira's a
steps the
good
right way.
example. Yeah, he is. Oliveira's a good example of the mental side. He was a guy that always had the ability, always but would come up short, in those big fights. And then all of a sudden he got over the hump, and he got the mental side right. And then all the talent that he always had, he always possessed, it could really show through once he no longer defeated himself. Once he just he got to where he trusted himself. He got to where, from the mental standpoint of it, to where he knew he could depend on himself at that next level. And once that happened, man, Oliveira was, he was hitting on all pistons, and obviously he still is, and he's still. It's with guys like him, with all of them, but with guys like him, it's always about the mental side. It's not the physical side. It's about once they get to the right place mentally. But this was a big, 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 big step for Pemberton. Pimblett.
Yeah, for Pimblett. And now 4 out of 5 losses. Lost 4 out of the last 5 fights. Chandler, 38 years old. I'd like to see somebody protect this man, and I know how much we enjoy watching him in there, but I think it might be a good time for him to call it a career.
Yeah, you could say that about a few of them, to be honest, bud. You're right. You're not wrong. But you could say that about a few of them. But it all comes down to they, two things. One, that they have to know it's time, which is very hard. It's very, it's very hard for people that competitive that they get to juice out of the being competitive. There's a special man right there. Shaq, that's a special good man. That's a special good man. But it's very, it's very hard for these guys that they've had to, I mean, they lived a life where it's not just about the money and everything, but it's about competing. It's about being relevant. There's another big hitter in the administration in the Congress, uh, Senate, I should say, Texas Senator Cruz. There's the man there, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, big UFC fan, big friend of Dana White.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's got
but
Elon Musk next to him.
yep, pretty talk about heavy hitters. You got some pretty heavy hitters right there. Don't get much bigger than that. But getting back to the fighting part uh, that we were just talking about, what was the last guys we were just mentioning before we went off to that? I was talking. I know about something you led me into.
We no, I kind of lost my train of thought there too. I don't know. You had me looking at all these politicians up there.
Oh, sorry.
So
No,
here we
but
go, Volkanovski.
no, but what I was, I guess, the point that I was kind of making, I guess I made it already, is that once these guys, once they get to that place where they find themselves mentally, you know, I mean that's the whole that's the whole thing. They're all talented. They're all dangerous. They're all great athletes. You know, uh, some are better striking, some are better jujitsu, some are better grappling. So some have the full package. But they're all great. But at the end of the day, the thing we were talking about that you had brought me into and I forgot was about when it's time to walk away. And the thing with that that's so hard is what makes them great is what can destroy them, their ego. That they finally get to that place with everything where they believe in themselves, they obviously at the top, and it's addictive, where you're the guy, where everybody adores you, where the crowd rises up, because not many people can do what you do, can do what they do, and you're admired and you're in a proper way. You're acknowledged for that greatness. You're acknowledged for that bravery, for being something that most people can never be. You know, being a guy who can get in the ring and face the things they face. Go into those dark places. I mean, people watch movies about people like this, and these people are the real thing. They're not doing it in a movie. They're doing it in real life. They're not doing it, with with uh, with the camera angles and with gadgets and you know all that stuff, computer and trickery to be a uh, to be a superhero. They are the real superheroes in real life. And to tell a superhero they got to retire, that's hard. To tell them they can't be a superhero no more. They can't be the guy that gets in the ring and gets all that adulation and that changes people's lives, makes people realize that you can always do something more if you dare to do it. And when you tell somebody whether they're 38, 40, whatever they are, no matter how many tough wars they've been through, when you tell them they can't do it anymore, man, that's taking a lot away from a person. And there's times when that's when they need good people around them. whether it's family, whether it's advisors, whether it's management, whether it's trainers, to help them in those times, to make those decisions, because it's a hell of a tough thing to do because of the way I just described what they've been living. But anyway, I thought it was a good point you brought up. I wanted to make sure that I gave it an explanation, at least from the
No, that was well
the
said.
angle that I could.
Yeah,
And
and
here's another.
we'll see what
special
happens
guy.
in this fight, because we might have a similar conversation we just had with Chandler if Volkanovski falls short tonight. He's lost 3 out of his last 4 coming in, and he is 36 years of age now. So this is a career fight, obviously, for him, trying to bounce back. And Diego Lopez, 5 wins in a row coming in. Volkanovski is the favorite, though. I believe he is minus 160, and you could get about plus 130, 135 back if you like the dog, Diego Lopez.
I love Volkanovski. He's been on our podcast, Bud, a couple times, I believe. I love him. He's great. He's tremendous. I never forget that fight he had with Ortega, T-City, where it looked like he was choked out. He was going into convulsions, it looked like. And no, what he was doing was getting himself out of that triangle, leg triangle, that nobody gets themselves out of. Nobody gets themselves.
That was incredible.
That was incredible. That was special. That's when he was still undefeated. And then he stepped up in weight. He took on the monster, and he took him on, and he had a hell of a fight.
Yeah, versus Makachev.
Hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. Close
I
fight.
thought he won the first fight, personally.
Yeah,
I thought he won.
I didn't think he won, but it was very close.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Very close. I could see it. But then he fought him again on short notice, and obviously it didn't go well at all for him. And then he fought a guy who's the next superstar, who really is the real deal, Topuria. Topuria. What a monster that guy is. That guy, if I walked into the room watching him and I didn't know he was in a cage. I didn't see the cage. I didn't see the names. I just saw 2 guys when they were in striking position. I would think that Topuria was a professional fighter, a professional boxer. I would say, hey, what's this prospect? Or, what's this champion's record? Who's this guy? I would think that's how good he is. I mean, he's good at everything, but that's how good he is at striking. He's that good. And he, of course, he got beat by him.
Yeah, I mean, Marab was on the show. He told us why he's so good at striking, Topuria, because he watches film his trainers do of Canelo on YouTube and practices his boxing.
Yeah, that was an extraordinary story to hear that. We had Marab, the great Marab, the machine. We also had his Ray Longo, his great trainer, on the show. But we've had a lot of guys on the podcast. We're very fortunate. We're very blessed that they all come on. But I'll tell you, this is the fight for me, as I'm previewing it right now from my standpoint, where Volkanovski is supposed to win. And there's a reason why he's the favorite. The level of opponents he's fought, his talent, his ability. He's still not. We don't think he's physically gone, even though he's lost those fights. He hasn't shown that he's used up or he's shop worn, any of those things. It's about the mental part. It's about, is he still hungry, to be very, very blunt about it, and maybe very basic about it and primitive about it, because they're all hungry, they all want to do it. But he's made a lot of money. There's still the urgency. Is the urgency still there for him? I think that comes into the equation. The urgency is there for Lopez. Lopez, he wants to go to where Volkanovski has been. He wants to go where that man's been. And Volkanovski's been there. So is he still hungry? Is the urgency still there? I think physically he's fine. Is the confidence level still there? He was at a place. That's why he beat Ortega, and he came out of that dead grip. that dead grip. He came out because he still believed he couldn't be beat. Well, that's gone. That's not there anymore. So for me, Volkanovski, with what he's shown in the past, what he still has left, his ability, obviously his resume, his track record, everything, I could see him being a favorite. He's supposed to win. But, and it's a big but, if Lopez is going to be the guy the same way as Pimblett, they're both in very similar situations, both these guys. They really are. It's just that Pimblett had to go first. But if Lopez is going to be that guy, that next star, he's also a guy that's looking to be that star and that talent and that guy. If he's going to be that guy, he's had 5 straight wins, whatever it is that you just said. If he's going to be, this is the fight that's going to make him that guy. He's positioned himself for the talk of being that guy. He's positioned himself for people like DC and Rogan and all the smart people to say, yeah, he's that guy. But this is the fight that's going to make him that guy. If he's going to be that guy. I'm going to say he's going to be that guy. Because in my business, usually when all those factors are at play, fate has a hand. Destiny has a hand. And those guys that it's their destiny to be that guy, this is the way it plays out. And for me, if I'm right about that, just about that part of it, not the physical parts, but just that part that I'm describing, that it's in the air for Lopez to win this fight, that tonight he becomes that guy. We'll find out. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Because Volkanovski is dangerous. Volkanovski, Customato, my mentor, used to tell me, be careful with a former champion who's had a bad run. And Volkanovski's had a bad run. Be careful on one given night that he doesn't remember how to be a champion. Because he can remember to be a champion on one night. And all of a sudden, right in front of you, he can be that guy again. So that's what Volkanovski wants to do tonight. I'm going to say again, the destiny, the fate, if it's the way I think and I feel that it could be, that it just feels like Lopez will show himself to be that guy tonight in this fight.
You're going with the underdog.
Yeah. And I love Volkanovski. I love the guy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think so too. I think I would take the odds on the underdog tonight if I was betting, and I think it is maybe the passing of the torch. With that being said, Lopez, he's got to prove and he's got to do it, right, and go 5 rounds. We watched him live with the last-minute replacement fight versus Ige, and the gas tank started running low after 3 rounds. And if that was a 5-round fight, he might have been in trouble that night, Diego Lopez. So we shall see here. The one thing
that gets me nervous, though, Bud, about me picking Lopez, I pick him very cautiously. But one thing that gets me, you know me, I'm a little bit of a guy that is a little bit superstitious. And I did an interview today with a guy from Australia.
How did the interview go?
Not great. And
yeah, well,
no. And I start wondering, is there something there now with Volkanovski that, I did the interview with Australia, Volkanovski from Australia. Maybe Volkanovski, maybe he wins. But anyway, I stick with what I said. I just think that it's a feeling that sometimes there's things at play. And look, you got to put yourself in position to make those things be at play. But I think Lopez has put himself in position now where fate, destiny could be on his side. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, this is also a long layoff for Volkanovski, right? He hasn't fought in 14 months since that loss to Ilia Topuria. So at 36 years old, will it be a little rust? We shall see. Now, with that being said, he should have had a bigger layoff after he lost to Islam in the rematch. He jumped in there, in my opinion, way too soon. He got beat up versus Islam, and 4 months later, he fights Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, I agree. The guy, you gotta love the guy. He's a little freaking
no
monster.
question.
And again,
Everything about him.
I harken back to that fight with T-City with Ortega. Man, oh man, I never saw anything like it. It looked
That
like he
was
was
deep.
gone. He was gone, but he wasn't gone. You know why he wasn't gone? Because he didn't say he was gone. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah, he went to dark places and he found the light.
And he's ready tonight. You can see he's in the right. I haven't seen him in this kind of frame of mind really in a long time. And so this should be very interesting. This should be very. See, Lopez leaves himself open with striking, where Volkanovski, he knows how to get, he knows how to fight short, where he could get into position, covered up pretty well, and time you, where he could take your reach away, where he could get into good geography with a taller guy, longer guy, and he could just get in that pocket where as you punch, he times you and catches you clean. He can catch you stepping out. He catches you pulling out. I can see opportunities on the striking for Volkanovski to try to catch Lopez pulling out, stepping out, and also throwing a jab, timing him with right hand. In other words, doing things that you have to do when you're a little shorter, when you're a little more compact. Get into position and time a punch at the perfect space, the perfect distance. Volkanovski's good at that. He's good at getting into good position, good space, and throwing punches with really nice timing, where he catches you clean, catches you in the middle of a punch, catches you again, pulling straight out. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. That's something for me that I want to look for a little bit. Lopez can be very explosive, very sudden, very twitchy. Could be interesting. Really, really should be. Like I said, I see some similarities with the co-feature in this in a way that, it was the fight for Pimblett to become that guy. And for me, it's really the same situation for Lopez. Because as I said earlier, Volkanovski has been that guy already. Been there, done that. But there's a power. There's a power. There's something to when you get that, look at him. When you get that chance to be that guy, there's something to that you know that this is maybe the only chance you're going to get it. This is it. This is the time. This is your time. Let's see if Mr. Lopez can step up into that space. We'll see. We'll find out.
Lopez usually starts fast. He's so explosive and dangerous early on, but with it being a 5-round fight, curious to see if he's going to try to conserve that tank a little bit.
You made a good point earlier, and I would be that's going to be on my mind right now, is if he gasses, because we know that Volkanovski has a good gas tank.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
does.
got the experience. He's got the experience. He's the veteran. He's been into it with. He's been in all the stages. He's been on the biggest stages, and he knows what those hot lights feel like. He doesn't burn too fast. Lopez is the kind of guy he might burn too fast. We'll find out. Look for this stuff early on, as you said. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah, here we go. I'll go underway.
Ben's excited.
Is my man Ben, is he able to watch?
Yeah. He's right there. He's watching right now. If it gets to the floor grappling, I look to him to tell me what's going on.
That might be the best haircut in the UFC right there.
Or the worst. Or point of view. The great Mickey Duff one time saw a guy with a haircut like that, and he said the great Mickey Duff was one of the great promoters of boxing, one of my favorite people, and I was close to him. And he once went up to this guy with a crazy haircut, and he says to the guy, "How much did you get paid to do that?"
Hulk seems like he's downloading some info right now.
But what he's doing, he's knowing what he don't want to do. He don't want to get careless. He don't want to reach in. He's the shorter man. He don't want to reach in. He don't want to feed into the strengths of Lopez, which is stand on the outside. Lopez is looking to control the outside and maybe counter him coming in with an uppercut or with a straight right hand. But Lopez is trying to fight tall, catch him coming in. And boy, that was some exchange.
I saw a right uppercut in there by Lopez. Got hit with a left hook.
He better be careful with that right uppercut because it could be a great punch. It could be a dangerous punch.
If he drops it, yeah.
Yeah, he drops it from too far away. He's going to get hit with a left hook. And Volkanovski, that's one of his strengths, what I was talking about. He knows how to time people. He knows how to throw it the right distance, the right time, and to get into the right position to do it. And he's trying to do that. With Volkanovski, it's not about what he has to do. It's about what he doesn't have to do. He doesn't want to reach. He doesn't want to get careless. He doesn't want to fight like a stupid short guy. He wants to get into position properly without giving up defense. And that's what he's trying to do. Not make it easy for Lopez. Not walk in and let Lopez catch him on the outside, catching in, or catch him coming in. And that's what Volkanovski's doing. He's trying to slowly, cautiously, and he did it. And he closed the gap beautifully. And he landed beautifully.
Big right hand.
Volkanovski's winning this round. Striking.
I agree. And a little redness on the face of Lopez.
Volkanovski's controlling range. He's going out and in. And he's coming in just right with his legs under him. Not getting careless. Not getting over anxious. Not giving away anything to the taller Lopez. Not making Lopez's job easy. And when Volkanovski gets close, again, he's very good at throwing compact fights, punches, and he hurt him. He hurt Lopez.
Big left hook on that right hand.
He's getting into good position, as I said early on. And when he gets into good position with his legs under him, he throws compact, short, explosive punches. And that's what he's doing. Watch how he get in position. And he's taking advantage of the length and height of Lopez. Lopez stands too straight. And when he gets in close, the shorter man is really making what should be an advantage for a tall guy. He's making it into a disadvantage because he's catching the taller guy because he's standing tall. Volkanovski shot in trying to get the takedown here.
It was good timing there.
And it looks like he got it.
Yep, he did. And I thought he's done a really good job this round of moving away and taking away the right hand of Lopez. Stepping out, controlling distance, but circling away from the right hand.
No, he is. And he's mixing it up. Striking, grappling. Just keeping him off balance.
Yeah, making Lopez go into that gas tank a little bit right now.
Yeah, and keeping him off balance, making him have a lot of things to think about. and to worry about.
Wow. Great start for Volkanovski here.
Yeah, dominant, dominant, dominant.
It 10-9 for sure. Are we getting to the 10-8 conversation here?
Yeah, close. Very close. You could almost
Wow.
make it 10-8. If you wanted to make it 10-8, you can't really argue it.
I don't disagree with that, no.
I'd probably make it 10-9. But I'll tell you, dominant round for Volkanovski. And again, we're going to see the replays coming up. But he took advantage of the other guy's advantages. The other guy stands tall, too tall. So what did he do? Volkanovski got into geography, got into the right gap, to the right range, and threw explosive, compact punches, catching Lopez standing straight up, where his punches were a little shorter, a little straighter, and they got there first. Watch. Gets in there, boom. He's in there, bang. He's taking advantage of Lopez being a little tall. There again. Lopez pulling straight back, catches him with a right hand and a left hook. Took advantage, and then he did his drop against the fence. But he took advantage of Lopez, once he got in close, of standing erect. And he knew there was target to hit. And he landed. And his punch, that's where the short arm guy had an edge. On the outside, he's got a disadvantage. But in close, the shorter arm guy, which is Volkanovski, now he's got an edge because his punches will get there sooner, faster, because they're shorter. Great job and a smart job. Not just a tough physical job, but a smart job by Volkanovski. I tell you another thing he did when he landed one of those punches, Bud. When he got in close, he dipped low and threw high. He set up Lopez really well. Lopez better be careful. He's looking to throw that right uppercut. If he throws that right uppercut from too far away, where he drops it, Volkanovski is very capable of timing him a left hook in that space. You know, in that hole. Because when you throw that right uppercut too far away, you leave a hole. And Volkanovski could fill that hole with the left hook. Volkanovski's the boss.
Big time.
And he's doing it. Look what he's doing. He's controlling. He's like the ocean. You know, where the ocean, do you want to be the ocean or you want to be the log? Well, I can answer that. You want to be the ocean. And he's the ocean right now. He's making Lopez the log. He's moving out, making Lopez come in. The ocean does that, making the log come in. All of a sudden, he pushes forward. He makes the log go out. He's the ocean. Lopez is the log. Look, he came in. Now he's going to go out. He's going to draw the log in. And then when he wants to push forward again, he'll push forward again. He is the ocean. He is control of the tempo, the pace, the rhythm of this fight.
No, it's a great analogy.
Look
And
at that
Lopez, he just doesn't know what to do, Lopez.
No.
He's trigger shy.
And you know another little thing that this little son of a gun is doing? Feints.
Yes,
Look at
big
the
time feints.
Oh.
Little angles, little movement. He's fighting so smart right now.
Look at the feints. Keeps him off balance. Little feints where Lopez don't know when he's coming or going. Little feints to keep Lopez off balance. Little feints. So smart.
Yeah. You could just feel how uncomfortable these feints and all the movement.
And then instead of
Lopez
feint, what does he jabs and hits a bop. Oh, I thought that was a feint. No, it was a jab. Okay, this would be a jab. Nope, it's a feint.
Talking about the jab, Lopez isn't even jabbing. I mean, he's pushing it here and there. That's not a real jab.
That's a jab. That's what he's got to do.
There
more.
we go.
You're right. You're 100% right. He's pushing it out. He's fighting like a tentative guy right now.
Very tentative, yes. A guy who lost his confidence in the first round and trying to feel himself, find his way, but Volkanovski in complete control here.
Yeah, Volkanovski is using his experience. He caught him and hurt him again.
Oh, nice right hand. He dipped beautifully there.
Yeah, he dips
and then he goes right for the takedown.
And again, he gets himself into the slot. He gets himself into the space, the geography, where the shorter guy now has an advantage with the shorter arms and with the taller guy standing tall. Beautiful job of striking, but setting it up with the sweet science. I love it. I love it. Look at him. Little movements on his legs, using his jab. Steps out, steps in, controlling range, controlling the ring. The man is the boss. Did he get cut over the right eye?
He was cut in the first round, yeah.
Well, if it's going to be Lopez's night, if he's going to do what Pimblett did, he's going to have to do it in a harder way than Pimblett did. Pimblett had to come back after a tough first round. He's going to have to come back after a tough 2 rounds.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him. He needs to take away Volkanovski's jab. He's on the shorter guy.
The problem is he's going to take risks now, and he's going to walk into something because Volkanovski's smart. Volkanovski will push you back when he should push you back. But then when he knows he's got you desperate and coming in, he'll do that. He'll counter you.
Yep.
He'll mix it up with you. Oh, he got caught. Lopez caught him. Caught him a right hand behind the ear. Oh, there's the explosiveness of Lopez. Wow, what a fight. What a fight.
Not enough to steal the round from me.
No, I think Lopez won the round, but enough.
You think so?
Not Lopez, I'm sorry. I think Volk won the round. I agree with you 100%, but enough to get Lopez back in the fight mentally.
Yes, big time. He needed that.
It's on.
It's on.
What they say? It's on.
You got 2 cuts now.
Hey, maybe we'll see. I said that it's fate. It's destiny. If Lopez is going to be the guy, if he's going to be that guy, the guy that Volkanovski used to be, he's got to do it tonight, and he's got to do it from behind. That's probably just the way he was meant to do. He was off balance. He gave him a little push. He did catch him a good right hand behind the ear. There's the right hand, actually on the chin. I thought it was behind the ear. There it is again. He went straight back. He caught him a right hand going straight back. When guys, how often have you heard me say this on a podcast or on ESPN, bud? When guys get dropped, when they get knocked out, when they get hurt, it's because of a defensive flaw. It ain't because the guy just threw a punch. He threw the right punch. He threw it at the right distance, the right time. I get it. But a defensive flaw. And one of the worst defensive flaws that is responsible for more knockouts and more knockdowns than I can shake a stick at is when a guy pulls straight back with his hands down. And that's just what Volk did. He pulled straight back. He got forced back. I give credit to Lopez. He got forced back straight with his hands down, and he got caught with the right hand. Defensive flaw. What a fight. What a fight. What a fight. 2-0. Some people might have a 1-1. I don't know. 2-0. I think Volkanovski. There's Volkanovski going back to boxing, moving, picking spots, trying to make Lopez give up his height. Not take a reckless chance of rushing in. Volkanovski figures I'm ahead. Maybe I got Lopez a little desperate where he's going to feel that he's got to catch up. He's got to push the fight. He's got to take the burden of being the aggressor. And if I got him in that kind of mindset, I'm going to take advantage of it. And that's what Volkanovski's doing. He's looking to counterpunch.
Yeah, some good inside leg kicks by Volk. Back to that this round.
Yeah, Volk's looking now to real nice. He's looking to pick spots, move, use the ring a little bit, try to get one of 2 things. Get Lopez to reach in, make a mistake where he can counter him, or get Lopez standing in front a little too long, waiting, and then beat him to the punch and then move again. I think those are the 2 things that Volkanovski's looking to do. Counterpunch or pot shot. In other words, You know what I mean? But in other words, if Lopez waits like he is right now, I'm going to hit him with a jab. I'm going to pot shot. And then I'm going to move. I'm going to pick my spots. I'm going to keep him off balance.
Ooh.
I'm going to fight on the he's boxing beautifully right now, Volkanovski. Using his jab, moving, not letting Lopez get in. And he's taking what Lopez gives him. Lopez stands in front, he beats him to the punch. Lopez comes in, he counter punches. Beautiful boxing by Volkanovski.
Yeah, this is high level stuff. This is a good fight. Yeah, he's waiting too much, Lopez. And I feel like he's just trying to rely on that right hand way too much. It was a nice jab.
If I told Lopez one thing in the corner, I'd tell him use that jab.
Yeah.
You're taller, you're longer, you got a good jab, it's accurate, it's long. You hit him with it when you use it, use it, use it. Keep him, if nothing else, it'll set up your right hand, number one, and it will disrupt the rhythm of Volkanovski on the outside. It will not let Volkanovski do what he's doing now, which is get a rhythm, be in control. It'll disrupt him. It'll break him up. Use that jab. Sometimes you just got to use that jab just to disrupt the guy. Yeah, he should be champion. He really should be. Volkanovski is fighting a good fight.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, smart, using his experience, showing all that experience, using it, really displaying that experience. And dimension. Look at that. Pot shotting, right hand, moves, uses his legs, boxing on the outside. He's putting a boxing clinic on. He's making the taller man fight his fight. He is. He's making Lopez fight his fight. He's making Lopez desperate. He's making Lopez give up his height, his reach. He's making Lopez one-dimensional. He's making Lopez just walk in. He's making Lopez do what he wants him to do. Wow.
Yeah. It's made him very hesitant, and he's just following him with no plan, it feels like.
No, because Lopez is worried to punch because of that. Because Volkanovski comes back with good counters.
Yeah, big right hand over the top.
Again, when you get close to Volkanovski, that's where being shorter armed is an advantage. His shorter arms can get there before your long arms.
Yeah.
Good round for Volkanovski. I got it 3-0, but
I do as well.
Good body shot by Volk. Look at that body shot by Volk in a left hook. What a beautiful combination. The camera guy, the director, did a good job there.
That was nice.
He used to be my director years ago at Friday Night Fights.
Is that right?
Yeah, Anthony Giordano, good director. He just did a good job there. He showed a beautiful combination there. Right hand to the body, left hook to the head by Volkanovski. And beautiful timing. He got into space, the right space, close. He got into the right geography I always talk about, where the shorter man could have the edge. And he timed it beautiful. As Lopez to the left, he went underneath with the right hand to the body and then came up top with the left hook. Really nice. Lopez is getting into desperate area now.
Yeah, and he's in uncharted waters, right? He's never been in the fourth round in the UFC. This is only the second time in his career that he's gone into past 3 rounds in a fight. And that was in 2021, the last time he went past 3 rounds.
He's got questions to be answered. And that's the edge that a former champion, veteran, who's been under all the lights, that's the edge that Volkanovski has. Those questions have been answered already. They've already been answered for him. That's really what the challenge that a guy like Lopez faces in a fight like this. Those questions have not been answered yet.
I don't see any adjustments from Lopez. I haven't seen one adjustment every round. It seems like the same thing. He's still not jabbing. He's still falling around. He's still trigger shy and waiting.
He's walking into jabs. He's
Yeah.
allowing Volkanovski to move him, really to move him where he wants to move him. He's letting Volkanovski be the ocean. He's the log. Volkanovski's doing what he wants. He's moving him into where he follows him, then he stops, he pot shots, then he moves again. Then he comes in aggressive, he counter punches. Then he stands outside, he uses his jab. Oh, beautiful counter by Volkanovski again. Lopez comes in. Volkanovski dips low and throws high with the right hand. Nice counter. Stops Lopez's aggression right there with a beautiful counter. This is the way, if you're a shorter guy, this is the way you fight. You don't force your way into the taller guy. You get the taller guy to give up his tallness. You give a taller guy, you get him to cooperate. You get him to do what you want him to do. And that's what Volkanovski has done brilliantly, brilliantly. Look at that jab. Wow. Volkanovski better be careful you don't get caught coming in. Don't get caught coming in and don't get caught pulled straight out.
Yeah, they just showed the live line. Volkanovski is now up to minus 270. It feels like it should be even bigger than that. I know there's still the puncher shot here with Lopez, but man, he's in full control.
Lopez just missed a nice left hook to the body. He needs to land something like that. Oh, there's the jab. There's the pot shot. Oh, there's the right hand counter. There's the right hand counter. Every time Lopez tries to be aggressive, Volkanovski counters with the right hand up top. He dips low, comes up high.
I don't know. He eye poked him in between that exchange. Yeah.
Right hand counter again. Look for that right hand counter when Lopez comes in. There it is again. He dips low and comes high.
Oh.
You see it, bud?
Oh, yeah.
And then a left hook behind it. Oh, again. He found a home for that punch. That one punch. That one punch is probably keeping Lopez from taking over. Because Lopez is trying to take over here. Lopez is trying to position himself for a big finish.
And he's going to need it. I think there was a little eye poke during that scrap that affected Volkanovski for a second. I think that's why he went and shot the way he did. He was trying to buy himself a couple of seconds there. We'll see it on the replay at the end of this round.
This is where the hands have to go for Lopez if he's going to get back in. But he's afraid to let him go because of that right hand counter that he's been eating.
And those jabs.
Yeah, those jabs ain't doing him no favor. As long as time comes off the clock, that's good for Volkanovski. Not for Lopez. He's behind.
Right.
Wow, there's that big right hand he missed. The jab in that right hand has been the key. There's the right hand again.
Ooh, beautiful.
There it is again. Tips to the left, throws high. Oh, I got it 4-0. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see maybe somebody gives Lopez one round, but I see it the same.
Eye poke. I think you were right, bud. Right there, maybe. Right. Maybe not an eye poke.
Right
maybe
there.
I don't know if it was a poke, but it might have just been a fist to the eye. Yeah, fist to the eye. There's the right uppercut, but there was the right hand.
Yeah, that was a nice uppercut. Your boy Eugene Behrman, coach, giving the instructions.
Good man, good coach.
Yeah, very good coach. Done great work with Israel Adesanya as well.
He's been on our podcast too.
That's right.
Eugene and Adesanya, both of them,
And Volk.
and Volkanovski.
Five more minutes to go.
I don't know if Lopez, he's trying to get the crowd with him, but they can't come in there. It's just you and him. He's trying to charge himself up. He knows he needs something. I think his one chance is to catch Volkanovski coming in, maybe with an uppercut, but catch him coming in clean or catch him going out. It's all about not just throwing, but throwing the right punch at the right time.
Yeah, and if you're Volkanovski right now, you gotta just stay responsible defensively, right?
I
Just
agree.
keep doing what you're doing.
The thing that, again, that really is hurt, I think at least, Lopez is he hasn't jabbed enough.
I'm a little surprised by these live odds right now. Minus 195. He started the fight at minus 165.
Yeah, he should be much higher.
Right? To only be 2-1 favorite in the final round of a fight that we think, I agree with the way you're seeing it, that he's winning it
Beautiful,
convincingly.
accurate jab again. Lopez
Yeah.
is starting to get in position a little closer to land something. He's got to pull the trigger at the right time. And he's got to avoid that right hand when he does come in, the right hand counter. Because that's what Lopez has been getting hit with.
Yeah, Lopez got a good chin. He's eating a lot of right hands.
Leg kick.
Should have been doing that more of that earlier.
True. The guy can't be set to punch if his legs ain't there. You're right. You got a guy who needs to be set to punch, take his legs away. Lopez starting to close the gap a little.
Yeah, I see a comment. One of the viewers said he has to get the KO. I would agree with that right now.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. He needs to finish.
Nice. Putting that left hook behind that right hand beautifully, Volk.
What happened? He's complaining about something. Well, I know one thing. You can't win a fight when you're behind if you don't move your hands. I know that
Right.
it's, I know you could get caught too. But at this point, you're behind. That's got to be part of the risk. You got to move your hands. And I would love to see the jab, even now, as the setup punch.
Yeah, just too much just following, no jab, waiting too much right there again, eating the jab.
Brilliant performance by
Masterpiece. Yeah.
really by Volkanovski. Brilliant.
Perfect fight. You're right.
He's looking at the clock now. Volkanovski. He could afford to do that. He knows now. He can go into that prevent defense.
Yeah, just keep those hands up.
There's the right hand counter.
Mm.
Again. There's the jab. There's the jab. There's the jab.
Oh.
Oh, right hand. Volkanovski looked at the clock again.
It's gonna take more than just Harden gesturing, Lopez.
Lopez is trying to sell out now, but Might be a little late.
Folks too smart
Oh,
to play into this
yeah.
now.
Folks picking spots.
Oof.
Oh,
Killed him
yeah.
with the basics, like a boxing match. Jab, put the right hand behind it, left hook behind that.
Yes, sir. Controlled range and distance, the ring really well.
Yeah, he does.
He's making the log come in. He's making the log come in. And the log comes in, he counters the log.
He was not falling for that Max Holloway Gaethje finish there. Good fight.
Yeah, Lopez acting like he thinks he's in it, but from what I saw, it's a shutout. If not a shutout, close to it at least.
I see it the same exact way. I was shocked by the live odds going into that last round there, and I get
That's the
some
only
judges
thing
like
that
the
worries me.
aggressor.
That's the only thing that worries me is what you just brought up, the live odds being that close.
Yeah, and I get it. Some judges prefer the guy coming forward and aggressive, but he wasn't. I didn't see the effect of aggressiveness, and he wasn't letting his hands going off. But I didn't think it was close. I mean, it was a fun fight to watch, but
I thought it was a clinic
yeah.
by Volk. Look at the counter punching.
Yeah, I see. One of our viewers said outclassed, and I'd agree with that. But somebody else is saying draw. I do not see that.
No, I can't see it at all, to be honest. I'm trying to look at it as fair-minded as I can, always. But there's the one moment there, the knockdown with the right hand by Lopez, but most of the moments were Volkanovski scoring the cleaner shots and just controlling the flow of the fight.
Yeah. I mean, round two, Lopez at the very end of the round drops Volk, try to steal the round with that. Round four, I thought was a close round, but 1, 3, and 5, I thought were pretty decisive as well for Volkanovski.
Well,
Well,
we're going to know soon.
yeah, we're gonna.
Let's put the sound on. Can we put the sound up here, Ben? Put it louder.
Yeah, like we saw it.
Yeah. What were the scores, Bud? I didn't hear the scores.
Yeah, so 48-47 was the closest, and 49-46 twice.
All right. Okay. I don't know what that one guy had it that close. I don't know.
Yeah, I did not understand it or see it, but they got it right in the end.
Interesting night. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Give him credit. Like Costamato said, a champion could be in a bad spot. There's his stablemate, the great Adesanya, great guy, great fighter. He's at the end of his career a little bit, but what a great fighter, what a great champion he's been. But they're both stablemates. They root for each other. Like I said, Cus used to say, you get a former champion who's gone through a bad patch and he's not the same guy anymore, it looks like. But on one night, let him remember that he was once a champion. Let him pull it together on one night. Look out. look out. At Volkanovski, that was tonight. He pulled it together. He remembered that he was a champion, and he just boxed fought a beautiful, complete fight. Did it all. Made the taller guy fight his fight, made him come in, made him give up his height, counterpunched him. When the taller guy got tentative on the outside, he hit him with the jab. He picked spots. He used his legs beautifully to give angles, to go in and out and control range. Like I said, he was the ocean. He made Lopez the log.
Yeah, perfectly said. He really did. It's nice to see that belt back around him. He really is a champion. Appreciate the way he conducts himself outside the octagon as well.
I
And it
agree.
just shows maybe, yes, it was too soon, like we touched on earlier, to take that Taporia fight only 4 months after the tough Makachev loss in the rematch. But how good is Taporia?
He's
Just
good.
watch this and then what he did to him. My goodness.
And what he did with Max Holloway,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Taporia.
right.
I
That
mean,
is right.
unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Max Holloway, he's been on the podcast too. I mean, on
Yep.
our podcast, but uh interesting, really. Lopez will have to learn from this fight. You know,
Yeah.
he got
It's the,
schooled. He got
he did.
schooled. It's
He
not a
did.
knock, but he got schooled by a great champion.
Well, like you said too, you can't come back. You can't win if you don't let him go. He didn't let him go, no.
Put the sound on here again, Ben, if you can. I'd like to hear what he's saying. Thank you. How's your Spanish, Ben? He said all the right things.
This fight will serve him, you would assume, right? A valuable experience being in there with a champion like Volk.
Yeah, he said all the right things.
Yeah.
You're right. Wow, what a job by Volkanovski. What a job. Took the kid to school, right?
Yes, he did. That was a masterpiece. Yeah, I don't know the one judge saw it that close, but so did the guys in Vegas, I guess. Like we said, it was closer than we expected or thought going into the last round from an odds standpoint. But we will wrap it up, but we've been on for quite some time. Hope all the people that viewed in, joined us tonight, enjoyed the boxing as well as the UFC. I'm going to throw one last question out of respect to one of the fans out there, Mob Deep. I think I know the answer to this, but he's asking, going back to the boxing, if Stanionis approached you, would you have any interest in training that guy, Eimantas Stanionis?
Um, you know, I'm just right now I'm not training fighters. It would take an extraordinary situation to get me to come back. I've done it a few times in the last 12 years. Every 4 years or so, it seems like I get talked into coming out of retirement 12 years, 13 years ago was to come back and train Povetkin. Trained him for 2 years. We won the heavyweight title. Then after that, it was Tim Bradley. I think it was Tim Bradley. I was away for another 4 or 5 years. I came back and I was with him. We 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 fought on HBO and were able to beat what was it Reyes
Brandon Rios.
yeah, Rios on HBO with the welterweight title that Timmy had, and then fought Pacquiao. I retired again for about another 4 years, and then uh, Alexander Volsic came to me and asked me to train him to fight Adonis
Stevenson.
Stevenson for the light heavyweight title, and we were able to win that fight, and then we defended the title. Then we lost to Beterbiev in a fight that Volsic fought really well, really well. He was winning going into the 10th round. And then I was gone again. Got asked a few times since. I'm not going to name the names, but they were names that most people would have said, yeah, why didn't you come back and train them? They were big fights.
Almost every single person in the world would have said yes, except for you. And if we did say some of the names or one name in particular, I think some jaws would drop. But that speaks to your character and your the way you've always done. That you only want one guy. You don't take on multiple guys, and it has to be the right person, not just a great fighter. So
yeah, so I mean, the answer to the question, I guess, that the fan asked, right now I'm not ready to. I'm not ready. Not that Stanionis wouldn't be a guy worthy of coming back and trying to help, because he's got a lot of heart. He took a big step up, and came up short. He could. There's a lot for him still to do, still to learn, still to get better, still to grow from, and I'm sure he will. But right now, I'm not ready to make that kind of commitment, because it's a huge commitment for me if I'm going to come back. If I can't give everything, then I'm not going to do it. It wouldn't be fair to the fighter that is asking me to do it.
yeah, no, and I know better than anyone how much you put into it and how much it takes out of you. And from a commitment standpoint, like you said, I think 18 world champions is great. 19 sounds better. It might be one more before it's all said and done. But anyway, I hope that answered the question for the fan out there and the viewers. And any closing statements, Bud, before we wrap it up? We got a lot of good comments and people appreciating you doing this tonight and staying on for the UFC. We've been going for a good about 4 hours now. So
No, if you care about what we do, you appreciate what you do, we appreciate you. If you appreciate what we do and like what we do, then look, show it by coming out and by getting your friends to come out and passing the word that we do the live streaming now, because we're only going to continue if it makes sense to continue. And you're the ones who answer that question, nobody else, if it makes sense. Only you guys can say yes or no. So it's up to you guys. You want us to keep doing this, we will, because we love the sport. We have a passion for the sport. We love you. And you guys are our energy for me. If you guys are passionate, you guys care about it, I care about it. And you let us know by your attendance, by your coming forward. And also, I would just ask you to do the same thing with the podcast. Go subscribe. Go out there and get friends to subscribe. Go out there. If you like the podcast, you like us doing what we do every week. We come on every Monday. We do it on Sunday. We come on Monday. If you like us doing that, want us to keep doing that, and doing all the other things that we're doing now, and that my son is doing, then subscribe. And like I said, get other people to subscribe, because if you're with us, we're with you. It's that simple. We appreciate it. Hope you had a good night tonight. We enjoyed being with you. Enjoyed talking to you. Enjoyed being in this seat again, breaking fights down again. And see you next time.
Yeah. Please, like you said, like, comment, subscribe. April 26th will be our next live stream. We'll put out another reminder and a post on the YouTube channel to remind everybody. And to hear a recap from tonight's fights, join us on Monday. New episode will be up from the podcast. So hope you guys all enjoyed it. Everybody have a great night. And a special thanks one last time, besides to you, my man, Bud, to Bennett Garcia, our man Ben, for helping us out and being there on a late night. So thank you all, and thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
We'll see you guys next time.